Whitney Young football is on the air. We're here at Fitz-Pollard Field at Lane Stadium for semifinal Chicago Public League football action. Your Whitney Young Dolphins matching up against the Simeon Wolverines. I'm Barry Newman, joined today by Scott Clayton. Scott, how you doing?
Doing well, man. Beautiful day for football.
It is an absolute perfect day for football. November, playing second round Chicago Public League. What do you think about today's matchup?
It's going to be a tough one. I think the teams are evenly matched. Just looking at Simeon run through drills here, they've got some good size.
Yeah, without a doubt. So if we just to get our fans up to date, Simeon comes in. They are 6-5. Scott and I were just talking about it off air. I mean, all of their losses this year are to teams that qualified for state. So they start off the year. They had back-to-back losses against Wheaton, Warrenville South, and Sycamore, both really high-quality teams. Lost to Kenwood, lost to Morgan Park, and then they got bounced in the first round of the state tournament against Normal West. But this is an extremely talented team, a team that last year won the city championship, and that team was led by Malik Elzy, who's now down at Illinois, has gotten time already as a freshman wide receiver down there. Also, Andre Cruz was their top running back. Cruz will be D1 somewhere next year. He's at prep school this year. But the big change for the Simeon in the offseason, in addition to Elzy and Cruz graduating, is that Dante Colbreth, who had led the Simeon program for 13 years, led him to a 114-37 record, advancing to state semifinals and quarterfinals a few times. Coach Colbreth retired before the beginning of the season. His daughter actually is playing volleyball at Whitney Young. And Coach Derek Hunter, who had been the defensive coordinator at Simeon, took over. And I think you'll see that that defensive mentality definitely comes through. This team qualified for the semifinals with an 8-0 win last week over Amundsen. I'm not sure if Amundsen scratched out 50 yards of total offense in that game. They are led up front by a couple D1 soon-to-be players. Chris Burgess probably headlining that group. Burgess is actually a sophomore. He's number 31. He's a four-star guy. He got 30-plus D1 offers. Notre Dame, Bama, Georgia, Michigan, The Ohio State University, Wisconsin, USC, LSU, Colorado, on and on and on. Number 26 prospect in Illinois in that 2025 class. Also, Mike Schenbieler. So both those guys come off the edge. Beeler, number 52, he's a three-star. He's a senior this year. He's got 28 D1 offers led by Texas A&M, Oregon, Purdue, Colorado, Miami, Ohio out there. Elbel, if you want to get Mike Schenbieler down there. So definitely a strong defense. If you look at through the course of the year, I think they're giving up 16 points a game. But if you look over the last 6 Chicago Public League games, they are only giving up 8 points per game.
Looks like Schenbieler is wearing a club.
All right, well, that's something to watch there. We talk about our Dolphins. So Dolphins come in here after a big-time win last week right here at Lane against Taft. What do you think of that game, Scott?
Typical Dolphin football. It was nice to see them prevail. Put a lot of things in motion, and second time we beat Taft is always a good thing.
Yeah, and I think some of the things there, if you I'm just trying to check out to see if how our link is working out, if it's working out.
Okay.
I guess maybe we can't view this thing until, well, I think we're just going to do it, and then it's going to be out there, and then when we end the stream, it'll be able to go public. So I think we'll just do it. We are definitely showing up as live, but I was hoping that some of the bootlegged link that we sent out might be live for some people, but I'm not quite sure that it is right now. I'm going to check it out on a different way, so it's still showing up as private. So anyway, last week, Whitney Young just rolled over the Taft Eagles. So that game, total offense in that game, 374 yards, with 338 of those yards coming on the ground. So we had Anthony Hood, 20 carries, 116 yards, 2 touchdowns. Joseph Clayton, 9 carries, 100 yards, and a touchdown. And then Nasir Rankin, 3 carries, 90 yards, and a touchdown. So almost 3 guys over the century mark in yardage last week. And really, if you think about this Dolphins team and the transformation that has happened with it over the last few weeks, last 5 Chicago Public League games, Dolphins averaging 208 yards rushing per game. So the first start of this season, definitely a pass-heavy offense, averaging 174 yards passing and only 87 yards rushing over the first 6 weeks. But then if you switch it over those last 4 games, went to 213 yards rushing and 60 yards passing. So that's with Hood running at that quarterback position, and Clayton, Yolich, Maxwell Warner, Nasir Rankin definitely coming off those jet sweeps. And the Dolphins, and I guess, talking about those skill guys, but really it's been Nick Dale, Babanefasimi Opedele, Juan Cepeda, Marquise Woods, Jason Perez, as well as the receivers doing their job in the block in the run game, getting blocks, sustaining blocks, and that's been the story the last few weeks.
I want to give special credit to Harrison Gossa. We're not calling his name a lot, but his contributions are huge, whether it's on the offensive side of the ball with his blocking on the edge or on the defensive inside. One of the things I told him last year was if you don't make a single tackle but everything gets funneled to the middle, you've done an excellent job, and he's done that all year, so great job, Harrison.
Yep, I think definitely Harrison. Hang on a second, let me see. Oh, here, hang on. Now we got to go back here. Yeah, we're still live on here, so let me see. Oh, man, okay, all right, so we're good. We're good there. So I don't know, we're showing live. I'm not sure on, I think we'll be good after the game, but not sure that it's going to be working for anybody who has that link pregame. So, yeah, I think you mentioned Harrison Gossa. Joseph Gray, we saw a great block downfield last week. And yeah, this is like this team has really bought in to a winning concept led by Coach Dan Finger. Coach Finger in his 5th season at the helm of the Whitney Young Dolphins. Coach Finger, 24-18 overall record. Yep. So I think the link will be. We'll just have to let people know that it will be live after the game. We'll get it live after the game. We'll have to maybe send out a few text messages here as we're getting tuned up. Looks like we have the Whitney Young Dolphins back in the locker room, getting some last-minute pregame from things. Got some updates coming in from few of our field personnel. So got Joe Poltz out at the Ignatius game.
We got spies out there.
Yeah. So we got Ignatius down 21-0. I think that's early, relatively early. Looks like Iggy had a 70-yard run called back. Some of the other messages from earlier today, I think Morgan Park was down 22-8 against St. Francis. St. Francis is a tough program. But our friends at Hope up big time right now. Let's see if it looks like in the third quarter they were up 42-7 over Rova. I had to look up Rova.
That's a new one on me.
Yeah. So it's it's the name of the school, but the town that it's located outside of is Oneida. Oneida, I think, is like a one stop sign sort of town, like, I don't know, call it 20 miles from Galesburg.
Wow.
Yeah. So anyway, the Hope Eagles at the 1A level doing well, so it looks like they're going to advance to the state semifinals next week. So be good to see Coach Millette and the Eagles, who we saw in the first week of the year. And I know a lot of respect from this Dolphins program for everything that Coach Millette does, for Eddie Jenkins and the rest of that team across the Eisenhower over at Hope. A few other notes, just as we're running down close to game time here. So again, looking at this Whitney Young Dolphins offense, averaging 25.4 points per game, 248 yards per game, and again, eventually that's balanced out. 120 passing, 127 rushing, but as we mentioned, it definitely hasn't been that way. It was an early season pass-heavy offense, late season run-heavy offense, and it's both recipes have been successful in their own certain ways. But I think Coach Boucher, Coach Finger, as we've rolled into the end of October and early November, they've seen the ability of Anthony Hood getting the ball in his hands 20-plus times a game. Hood working with Clayton, with Rankin, with Yolich in the back. And so what Hood's doing a lot is reading that defensive end, so he's given the ball up the middle to Clayton. Clayton's been ripping off big yards up the middle, but then he's also been looking for the edge when those defensive edges crash in. So that's been a recipe for success against Taft a few times here. We will see if it's a recipe against Mike Schenbieler and Chris Burgess tonight, the 3- and 4-star DNs for the Simeon Wolverines.
Yeah, we'll see if Clayton's height is an asset, as he tends to get lost in the trees in the middle of that line. Do we know who won the first semifinal game?
Yeah, we sure do. Kenwood won. I think the final was 31-6. From what I heard, that 6 that Phillips scored was way at the end. That Kenwood pretty much dominated that game. So Kenwood was the number 2 seed, although let's just call them the top seed in the city playoffs. They were on bye last week after a first-round loss in the state championship. So Kenwood, earlier today, took down Phillips. So Kenwood advances to the city championship game next week. So the winner of this game, winner of the Simeon versus Whitney Young Dolphins game, will take on the Kenwood Academy Broncos. I had a horse in mind. I couldn't. I wasn't getting to it quick enough. Thank you, Scott. I knew that you'd be there for me.
It's 4 blocks from the house.
Okay, so they're in your backyard.
They are. I see that neon sign in my nightmares.
Yeah. They are getting geared up already for the basketball season. Kenwood, a big rival of Coach Slaughter and the Whitney Young Dolphins.
So here's the $1 million question. Do we keep our streak of not witnessing the coin toss going, or do we actually pay attention this time?
Well, we might. I mean, I think there was one time earlier this year that I actually looked up while it was going on, but then I usually look back down. I usually am doing something else. So we are you got the Chicago Public League refereeing crew. After I had some volunteers this week for the chain gang, because I was assuming it was our home game and we'd need chain gang. When we got here, Chicago Public League said they were handling that as well. So we're getting the royal treatment here. If you're going to be watching this, you're going to be watching it on tape delay, as Marquee Network is broadcasting this game live. And so that's where we weren't able to go live on our stream today. I'm going to try to fire out a couple messages here to people just to let them know. Looks like only post-game for the link. That's what I'm gonna send, and I'm gonna copy paste it and send it out to a few other people as we're getting ready to go here. So yeah, I'll be doing that while the coin flip goes on. We probably should have had Tony McHale set that up for us. Tony is out in Colorado right now. His daughter goes to Colorado with Coach Prime. So got a hold of him after we found out the specifics on the game. Kind of went back and forth all week with Marquee Network, with Chicago Public League, as far as what would be possible. And so eventually we arrived at being able to broadcast the game, but not live broadcast the game as a recorded function. So hopefully that all works out after the fact, Scott. So you and I are just talking to ourselves, but with the idea that there's a whole horde of people that are going to jump in right after this game, right after I click that link that says that the link is public, that will jump in on it.
Yeah, I've been known to talk to myself quite a bit.
Well, I'm talking to myself, but usually it's the voices in my head.
Well, holding a conversation of one.
And we've both been married for quite a while, so we're used to muttering to ourselves, because who else is going to listen to us?
Exactly. I typically sit in the corner.
And so this is, I think, we'll talk, throughout the course of the broadcast. I mean, this is the furthest that the Whitney Young Dolphins have advanced in city playoffs, as far as I can tell. And I think in talking to Coach Finger, who has a longer view of history, I mean, a lot of times there are different setups in city playoffs and city championships. So we think that this is the first time that the Whitney Young Dolphins have advanced to the city semifinals. So again, city semifinals. Finals will be next week. Winner of this game plays Kenwood for the public side, Chicago Public League Championship. And then the following week, the Chicago Public League champion takes on the champion out of the Catholic League. So, Scott Clayton, you mentioned last week you played in the Prep Bowl.
I did not. I was on JV.
Okay.
Our varsity.
All right. But you were part of the team. You were part of the squad, De La Salle, that went to the Prep Bowl. And then, given you were, 37, that was, so about 20 years ago?
Yeah.
All right.
Your math ain't mathing.
All right, we're going to have the national anthem here, and then we'll get ready for the game.
Special Veterans Day salute to all who served. Kenneth Clayton, Bo Bradley, Samuel Minix, and to current United States Army Colonel Richard Taylor.
All right.
Thank you for your service.
This is the Chicago
All right. So did we catch the? They're just coming out for the.
They're coming out for the
coin flip. We got. This is going to be one of those setups again where I'm gonna get super nervous every time somebody walks through our setup with all of our chords. But again, if you're just getting on the live stream, we're set up here, semifinal game. Scott Clayton, my color commentator, Barry Newman, on the call today. We've got a nice crowd of Whitney Young Dolphins fans still checking in.
A lot of orange and blue.
A lot of orange and blue, a lot of cowbells around. So I went back, and, I never know on these broadcasts what I'm able to hear, what the fans are able to hear. I got to say that the cowbells come through loud and clear because they're out there. So we talked a little bit on the Open. The key players on the Simeon side, you see right out now for the coin flip. Number 31 is Chris Burgess. Burgess is a 4-star edge rusher, a linebacker with offers from Bama, Notre Dame, Michigan, Ohio State, among others. Number 52 also out there, senior edge rusher Mike Beeler. So Beeler has about 30 offers as well from a number of Power 5 programs. Keyshawn Parker is the starting quarterback, senior, 5'11", 165 for the Simeon Wolverines.
We had a reflip.
Here, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this bag down, and maybe that will protect our cords and let people walk on that seat there versus having to. All right, so there we go. We got the public address announcer letting us know what happened, which was Whitney Young won the toss, deferred to the second half, so Dolphins will go on defense to start with.
Actually, that was the official. We have a mic'd official.
Oh, a mic'd official. So this is fancy tonight. This is Scott. What was the? Did we get the pregame catering service? What was the pregame catering service?
Some American cheese on toothpicks.
I probably told you this before. When I worked at Northwestern, we had Heckies as our.
Really?
Yes, Heckies is our catered-in pregame meals. Now, as a college student working those games, I had to be up there at 7 a.m. rolling in after a Friday night where maybe there was some shenanigans that went on.
With Heckies?
But Heckies, 7 a.m.
You were living right.
Absolutely. There was nothing better than that. So that was 7 a.m. Heckies. I used to read those promos, too, for football. It was like, Heckies, it's the sauce.
It's the sauce. Hey, as a lifelong Northwestern football, I don't know, curmudgeon, going up with my dad, that was the saving grace of driving all the way up to Evanston to watch the Wildcats play in the 70s and 80s. It was
those were some rough trips, but made finer by Heckies. Not that Heckies has anything on Sorelli's, just a different thing, right? So we are getting set to kick off here. Semifinal matchup. Whitney Young Dolphins. Whitney Young comes in at 8-3. Simeon at 6-5, but we talked about all 5 of those losses coming against some tough opponents. Everybody qualified for state, and quite frankly, that's all 3 of Whitney Young's losses. Whitney Young's losses this year: Hope, which winning their 1A battle right now, so they will be moving on at the state level to a quarterfinal matchup. Morgan Park. They were down on the last time I heard, but Morgan Park again advancing to the 3rd round of the state playoffs. So these teams are well-deserved representatives in a semifinal matchup in the Chicago Public League. I think we might be waiting. This is the other thing we have today. So this game is on Marquee Network. So that's your official. We're at commercial break right now. So that official the marquee representative will signal into our official So this game is gonna take a little longer because we're gonna have to wait for Marquis to bust away to go to some commercials.
Amateurs, man. Amateurs.
Yeah, they can't fill the time. But super exciting for Chicago Public League to get this game on air on Marquee Network. They also have the Prep Bowl game in a few weeks. In 2 weeks, that'll be on air as well. So we've got teeing up right now is Solomon Bradley, number 37 for the Whitney Young Dolphins. I have to work on my Simeon numbers. Can't quite see who's back deep. Looks like might be number 26, Demarion Williams. That kick is over the head and checking up in the end zone. So Kyrie Nelson lets it go in the end zone.
Is that the first touchback we've seen this season?
I think it's the second one. I think maybe against Bulls. I feel like I think there was a night where we had where Solomon Bradley had and I kind of feel like maybe it was after that 2-point first. I don't know. I do feel like that's the second one of the year, and Bradley's been doing a great job as the kicker. And I will say this: I mean, special teams may come up huge in this game tonight.
I'm making a prediction just based on the way that ball hit. I think we're going to see a long onside kick.
All right, so Simeon opening up. Looks like number 8, Caleb Sims. Sims is listed as a quarterback and fullback and looks all of that. Sims firing it over. Completion and a first down. Barry Gordon hanging on for the tackle. Ball's out close to the 40-yard line. That was Dwayne Brooks. Brooks is a transfer from Westinghouse and just received an offer last week to Northern Michigan. Brooks also a kid who played with Anthony Hood on the Windy City Dolphins youth football program. So Brooks, number 21, top receiver for Simeon. So right out of the gates, Caleb Sims at quarterback rather than Keyshawn Parker. Caleb Sims has the completion now, a give up the middle, and stopped immediately.
Stood up by Clayton.
Clayton with a nice tackle on Marshawn Cohen, the senior running back. So that'll bring up second down. So Clayton doing the things that Clayton does. So D-line, looks like we've got Nick Dale on the nose, Babanefasimi Opadelli, and I think Juan Cepeda out there, Jolich and Clayton, your two leading tacklers as the inside linebackers. Second down and 9. Sims calling signals. Sims back to pass. Sims going deep. Pass is caught. Pass is caught by Brooks. So good coverage over there. I think it was Maxwell Warner on the coverage, but Sims with a nice pitch and catch to Brooks, taking the ball all the way down to the 25-yard line of the Dolphins. So we talked about what we thought was going to be a big-time defensive battle, and the Simeon Wolverines out of the gates are saying we're going to throw the ball around a little bit. There's a handoff, getting to the edge, and a fumble. Ball's on the ground, and I think Simeon got back on top of it.
I think it went out of bounds.
Okay.
I think it went out of bounds.
So nice pursuit by that right side of the Dolphins defense.
Excellent pursuit. Nice pop on the tackle.
So that was Marshawn Cohen again on the carry. So ball goes out of bounds. Loss of 2 after that fumble. So if you're just joining us, 10 minutes left. Just started here in the first quarter.
Yeah, good plays on both sides of the ball. That pass play was just a matter of height, I think.
Sims pass over Babanefasimi Opadelli and Jolich on the tackle. So I think they were calling out Brooks. That was Brooks' number again. They actually had Beeler, who is their outside linebacker, 3-star. He was lined up in the backfield on that one. So, again, we've seen down the stretch here, teams want to get the ball to their best athletes, even if that is a guy who's a D-edge. So, Beeler next to Sims in the backfield. Sims back to pass, looking. He's going to overthrow his receiver. Nice coverage by Nas Rankin.
So I think this is where the special teams play comes into play, because from the looks of things, Simeon is going for it on 4th down.
So 4th down. They've got to get to the 15 for a 1st down. So 4th and about 7. So Sims has got trips receivers to his left, single receiver, which is Brooks, to the top side. Sims looking left, forced out of the pocket by Buster Cepeda, and he's put short of the 1st down marker. So Cepeda, followed by Nick Dale, and the Dolphins defense holds.
Turnover on downs.
Nicely done after a couple passes from Sims to Brooks to start off the game. Push the ball pretty deep into Dolphins territory, but they were able to get the stop after a nice stop on the 1st down run, incomplete pass, and then out of bounds.
Anthony Hood at quarterback.
Hood with a handoff up the middle. Clayton still on his feet around the edge. Gets close to a 1st down. All right, so 8 yards on that 1st down carry. Again, looks like the Dolphins are going to do a little rotational back between Yolich and Clayton, making sure Hood doesn't have to run over to the side on every play. So Hood has 3 receivers. Motion man. Hood's going to keep it up the middle, looking for a 1st down. Close to it, but I think stopped short.
Anthony Hood keeps it.
Good stop over on the right-hand side of that Simeon defensive line. So we saw that last week where Dolphins would line up 3 receivers, motion a 4th receiver to that direction, and then Hood sometimes looking to scoot off to the opposite side of that. So in that alignment again, Rankin, Duhan, Joseph Gray, the receivers. Hood keeping it up the middle, 1st down across the 35-yard line. So nice job by Anthony. So Maxwell Warner checking in at running back. So starting offensive line, Nick Dale, Babanefasimi Opedele, Marcus Woods, Buster Cepeda, and Jason Perez. So Hood with Maxwell Warner. Gives to Warner. Warner with a nice job up the middle. Picks up about 7 on that 1st down.
Dolphins chewing up yardage on the ground.
Yep, good job there. Warner just picked a spot, and as we talk about his triple jumping abilities, just gets that little step in there, a little jump step, and hits the gas. So good job by the Dolphins advancing the ball out to the 45-yard line, 2nd and 1, so 9 yards on that 1st down carry. Bunch formation to the right. Clayton in the backfield next to Hood. Reverse to Rankin. He's looking for the corner. Got the corner and the 1st down. Nice job by the Simeon defender to make sure that Rankin didn't go flying into the bench. That was senior Damarian Harris, number 81. So Whitney Young gets the 1st down into Simeon Wolverines territory at the 47-yard line.
trips left, I see.
Yep, trips left in the pistol formation with Jolich directly behind Hood. And handoff and
met immediately.
And, dropped immediately, and that was
Number
Mike
52.
Schinbeeler.
Looks like a loss of a yard. No, loss of 2.
Yep, loss of 2. Dolphins still moving fast. Again, rotating those running backs. Hood at quarterback. Hood ripped off over 100 yards again last week from that quarterback position, his second time in the last 3 games. Now the give to Clayton. Clayton with a hole. Clayton out to the 42-yard line where he's brought down by Charles Smith. So good job on that second down run to get some yardage back and give the Dolphins, again, we talked about special teams. Last week, Simeon, again, beat Amundsen 8-0 here. A big defensive battle the whole day. Really tough for Amundsen to get much going.
A rugby match.
Hood keeping it himself, looking for a hole, gets upfield. Now with a nice block from Clayton. He's out to the 22-yard line. Hood made a really nice cutback. Some jawing going on the field. He was met by Keyshawn Parker downfield. Clayton did a nice job sustaining a block, so the Dolphins are just getting right back on the ball right now.
Like what I'm seeing here from the Dolphins. Good energy.
Yep, Hood in the pistol, Clayton behind him, and that is Simeon's gonna take a timeout.
That's what you like to see. A sustained drive and the defense deciding they need a break.
And a smart timeout, I think, by Simeon there, because they are a team that is used to pushing people around on the defensive side. And I think in a game where, again, this is win and move on to the finals, lose and
go home.
You got yourself an off season. So you want to do those things early and often as they come up. So again, Derek Hunter, the first-year head coach of the Simeon Wolverines. 4:57 left here in the first quarter. If you're just tuning in, Simeon had a couple big completions. Their quarterback, Sims, to Dwayne Brooks, 2 long first down passes, took the ball to the 25-yard line of the Dolphins. But then the Dolphins' defense stiffened and eventually on 4th down forced Buster Cepeda and Nick Dale teamed up on a tackle of the quarterback out of bounds, and the ball turned over to the Whitney Young Dolphins. Now the Dolphins with Hood, Clayton, Jolich, Maxwell Warner handling the rock have pushed the ball deep into Wolverines territory.
We just got the signal from the marquee official to get the teams going.
Yeah, again, this game is on Marquee Network, the home of the Cubs. So we will have some TV timeouts. Be a little bit different for us. Trips, receivers to the right. Harrison Gossa tight on the right side. Hood keeping it himself. Hood gets upended by Parker, but still a nice first down run. Parker doing a little celebrating. That's fine.
Whatever floats your boat, right?
Yep, so pickup of 5.5 on that first down carry by Wood. Will DeMille checking in as a wide receiver. You got Rankin, Joseph Gray, Harrison Gossa. Jolich now in the slot as the wide receiver. Hood alone in the backfield. Hood looking to his left, cutting it back, picking up a few yards across the 20-yard line. So that's going to bring up third down and 3. Dolphins need to get inside the 12-yard line for a first down. Clayton checking back in at running back. So Nick Dale, Bobanefasimi Obadelli
Juan Cepeda, Jason Perez, Marquise Woods. That offensive line, we'll see if we can get a push here on third down, third and short. Hand off to Clayton. Clayton turning the corner, keeping his legs alive. Got probably a yard and a half. So I think he's going to be short.
Got to tell you, a lot of Wolverine players, hands on hips, taking a knee. I think this drive is taking a lot out of them.
So you got Mike Schinbieler, number 52, and number 31, Chris Burgess, are the 3- and 4-star D edge rushers for this Simeon team. Also Charles Smith, top tackler, and Cameron Caldwell. So fourth down, and call it 2. Hood getting under center. Maybe a little push here. Hood on his feet across the 10-yard line for the first down. So again, making things work behind Nick Dale, Babanefisimi Opadelli, and Juan Cepeda on the inside of that offensive line. And Hood kept his legs going and pick up a first down at the 10. We'll see. I think it's marked just outside the 10-yard line. So, actually, they're putting the sticks down.
Sticks down? Okay.
Yep. So call it first and goal from the 10.
Great push by that O-line.
Rankin, Gassa, Gray to Hood's right. DeMille alone on the left. Handoff up the middle to Yolich. Yolich inside the 5. Yolich down to the 3-yard line on the first down run.
Saw some skipping there from Babanefisimi Opadelli. That means he's having a good time.
He is having a good time. Kool-Aid. Clayton checks back in. 1:53 left here in the first quarter. Again, only 2 possessions so far. First possession by Simeon, stopped on a 4th and out, and now the Dolphins inside the 5-yard line. Second down and goal. Hood hands it to Clayton. Clayton looking for an edge, dropped for a loss of a couple. That was Beeler on the tackle. So going to bring up third and 5, 6. They're marking it at the 6. So tried to get to the edge or find a gap on the right-hand side, and Beeler said, And that brings up third down, third and goal. We come back and we talk about special teams on the open. No wind here, so this is in Solomon Bradley's range right now. Third down, third and goal. 2 receivers left, 2 right. Yolich in motion. Hood going to keep it himself, and he stopped short. So it looked like Caldwell in on the tackle. Caldwell in on the tackle on the left-hand side. We'll see what Coach Finger wants to do. Looks like they're going to maybe let this thing roll down to the end of the quarter and give the Dolphins some time to think over what they might want to do. Ball is on the right-hand hash, just inside the right-hand hash. So, yep, that's what's happening. I think they checked in. There was enough time to just let this clock roll. And so we're going to end the first quarter. 0-0. Dolphins on the drive.
Not that I'm a expert strategist, but saw a couple of opportunities there. One, given the fatigue that the Wolverines are displaying, looks like if we had maybe no huddled a couple of plays, we might have caught them off guard. And also they essentially gave up. If we had rushed to the ball and snapped it, we could have garnered a penalty.
Yeah, could have been something there. So anyway, I think I was watching the Brain Trust. Coach Kyle Weidman, quarterbacks coach Eddie Boucher, and Coach Finger having a discussion down on the field.
Let's not forget assistant coach Alex Dale.
Oh, yeah, I saw Alexander Dale checking in today. Alex, all-state linebacker and tight end from last year. Alex is over next to us here in the makeshift coaches booth. Makeshift because Marquee Network is taking over the press box today. We're we're a little bit down the line. We're still I think still seat license type of seats where we are here at the 35 at Lane Stadium.
So we don't have to lean over the fence to see the south end of the football
Exactly.
field.
This is better for you. I always pick that spot and I shove you against the wall so you have to lean over. But sometimes when I watch the replay, I notice that I'm getting in the shot on the edge as I look down the end. So this is a great night again here at Lane Stadium, historic Lane Stadium. Lane Stadium will be the site of the Prep Bowl, which is in 2 weeks. Again, that's actually Brian Miller had sent me, if I can pull it up. I think Marist is still alive on the Catholic League side. And let me see if I can get the other Catholic League school in that bracket. So the bracket, as I'm pulling up here, although there might be more important things going on. So it's St. Rita and Marist that are alive on the Catholic League school side. So again, schools that are not in the state playoffs right now, and they will play next week. And then the winner of that game will play the winner of Kenwood, who advanced to the city finals today with a 31-6 win over Phillips, and the winner of this game. So going to come up with a 4th down play. Hood, the quarterback, Clayton behind him. Hood and Joseph Gray jumped off sides, and so that's going to bring up a 5-yard penalty, and then the kicking team is coming onto the field. So Whitney Young was ready to go for it on 4th down. So this will be a 27-yard field goal. Call it, 27. I think it was marked at the 10. So Solomon Bradley, 4.5-star long snapper Ben Barrett to Vaughn Conrad. Snap is good. The
flag
hold is down. I think that I had a defensive offsides. So it's blown dead. So it's blocked by the middle of the. So here we go again. So Simeon was offsides.
Not only that, he was. I think he attacked the long snapper.
Yeah, came over that gap, which is not legal. So it would have been nice to, if you want to throw in a little unsportsmanlike conduct call on that one and get a 1st down. But it brings it back to 4th down. Coach Boucher, thinking about what that play call was last time. Hood has not thrown the ball yet today, but that could be in the cards here with a 4th down and 5. Quinn Duhan, receiver on the top side of the screen. Gray, Nasir Rankin, and Harrison Gassa. Hood rolling. Hood looking to pass. Hood throws it, and where is the flag? So Harrison Gassa, and I'm guessing they're going to say incidental contact.
Incidental contact, their feet got tangled up.
Yep, so that was rolled to the left-hand side. Gassa was open, but got tripped up. Coach Finger is having a conversation right now with the official, asking, all right, how does that work? My guy was tripped and pushed down, but I guess it is one of those things where as he's coming through the line, kind of coming through the trash, those things can happen. So 11:52 left here in the first half. Whitney Young drives from their 20-yard line all the way inside the 5, had that 1st down run down to the 2 or 3 yard line. But then the Simeon defense that we talk a lot about on the open, Simeon loaded up on that defensive line with a bunch of guys that are going to play at the Division I level in the future, and they were able to stiffen and hold the Dolphins at the 5. So now we're going to see Caleb Sims, the junior quarterback, checking back in for the Simeon Wolverines.
Fullback quarterback.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't have a roster with his height and weight listed, but he's solid. Again, he hooked up with Dwayne Brooks a couple times. Brooks, wide receiver from Simeon, has an offer to play at Northern Michigan. So a lot of talent on this Simeon team, a lot of talent on the Dolphins side of things. So looking at who they're rolling out there, looks like off defensive line, Dale stays in. No, actually it's Dylan Paracchini checking in at nose, and Marcius Woods. So Sims looking to throw. Sims hooks up with Brooks again. Brooks still on his feet. Chased down.
Anthony Hood is down.
Yep, looks like Hood is down right now on the field. Hood came up on the run support on that play. I think Duhan eventually on the tackle. So Simeon's done a nice job of getting the ball in the hands of Dwayne Brooks, their top edge playmaker. So we will hope for the best here on Anthony. I didn't see what happened. There was a lot of action down on that left-hand side of the field.
I think his plant foot got stuck, and they're looking at his left knee.
So Hood came in, and we hope for the best for him. I mean, he's just put together an absolute monster game on a monster career. Hood with over nearly 400 yards, both rushing and receiving. So if I go through his stats for the year, 61 rushes for 348 yards. That's a 5.7 yard average, 5 touchdowns. Anthony's had 18 receptions for 385 yards and 6 touchdowns. So we hope for the best for him. Looks good walking off the field. 27 career TDs for him. So looks like on the backside, Joseph Gray checking into Hood's safety spot. We've seen Gray really playing some great football this year, both as a defensive back and also filling in as a linebacker. So Sims has been looking for Brooks. That's Brooks again, chased down and tackled by Quinn Duhan. There's a flag at the end of that play.
I couldn't tell if that was a flag or debris.
Yeah, it was and maybe it was. Let's see. No, it was. Referees are talking right now. Looks like we're probably going to get. It's in the area of holding. In the area of holding.
They're having a long conversation.
3 of them over there. So we'll watch for the signal.
During the run, holding against White.
So holding against Simeon. I think that's going to be 10 yards from the end of the run. So it'll be first down. First down and probably around 15. We'll see where it's marked. So in Marcius Woods, Baba Nefasimi Opedele, Dylan Paracchini on the D line. Jason Perez. Perez just having an excellent season from his outside linebacker position. Perez, 62 tackles on the year. So Sims, the quarterback. Looks like Lavelle Smith, probably the running back. Handoff up the middle, and BG3 bringing down Lavelle Smith. So good job by Barry Gordon III from that linebacker position, outside linebacker position on the right-hand side. So bring up second down. I'm going to call it 7. They've got to get to the 35, call it the 34.5-yard line. So no score, 10:29 left here in the first half. No score, but we've seen a lot more offensive action than I thought we would have. Run up the middle. Duhan there at the end.
Looks like they're giving forward progress.
Forward progress, and they're going to move the chains. So first down run. Gray also in there on that tackle. So that was Lavelle Smith. Smith is a sophomore.
His run is enough for Simeon. First down.
So Sims, this drive started at the 5-yard line. They're out to the 35-yard line. Second possession for Simeon. So that first quarter was only 2 possessions. One for each team as these teams are running the ball a lot, although we've seen Sims hook up with Brooks a few times. There's Smith stacked up in the middle of the line.
Can't see who the initial hit was.
Buster Cepeda definitely on the end of that. Actually, Marquise Woods on the end of it. But in the vicinity of Dylan Pericini, and you got to know that Clayton and Jolich are always around the ball.
I actually think Jolich had the initial hit.
Yeah, so Jolich is second on the team, 106 tackles coming in, and Clayton leading the way with 115 tackles. Clayton, the leading tackler on this team each of the last 3 seasons. So second down, 2nd and 9. Sims at quarterback. Smith next to him. Sims back to pass. Sims rolling to his right. Now he's going deep. He's got an open receiver. Nasir Rankin going for the strip, but number 84, Xavier Magruder. Xavier Magruder, 6'2", 190 pounds. Sims was able to keep that play alive and got it over the top of the Dolphins defenders to Magruder for a big-time pass all the way down to the 15-yard line of the Dolphins. So 8:40 left here in the second quarter, and the Simeon Wolverines are knocking on the Dolphins' door. 3 receivers to the top. Sims, the quarterback. Sims keeping it off to the left-hand side. Closed down nicely. Nasir Rankin in for the tackle. I think they're also going to get a hold, I think. Yep. Going to be a holding or maybe a crackback block on Simeon. Nice job.
Excellent job. And Anthony Hood is back in the game.
All right. Great news there. So Hood checking back in. Gray checking out. All of Hood's teammates checking in on him. Hood talking to Rankin right now saying, nice job, young man. So it was a holding. Let's see what Coach Finger has to say here. I think we're going to send the Dolphins or the Wolverines back. So ball moved back to the 25-yard line. Second holding call on this drive on the Wolverines. Yep, so the Dolphins have not seen a whole lot of passing attacks over the last few weeks here. Seen a lot of balls on the a lot of running games, so team needs to adjust it a little bit. The Rankin, Hood, Duhan, Maxwell Warner defensive backfield. There's a handoff up the middle. Oh, nice hit on the end of that play by Jolich. So that was Smith getting back about 8 yards on that first down carry.
There have been some good pops in this game.
There have been some good pops, without a doubt. Coach Finger talks about violence in the best of all ways. Controlled, team-oriented violence. So second down and 13. I think the Wolverines need to get to the 5-yard line for a first down. Sims at quarterback, Smith next to him. Sims, Barry Gordon chasing Sims. Cepeda, Perez still on his feet. Eventually, Hood and Jolich bring down Sims, who transformed into his fullback self.
I don't think the Dolphins were ready for that size. There was a lot of arm tackling.
Yeah, he bounced off, ping-ponged off a couple Dolphins. So third down, they got to get across the 5. So call it third and about 1.5 yards. 6:50 left here in the first half. 0-0, but in an action-packed game, this drive for the Wolverines started at their own 5-yard line. They've driven it 89 yards right now. 89 yards to Just ask people to be careful and don't unplug us here. All right. So Sims at quarterback, 3rd down, hands it off to Smith. Smith looking for the edge. Yolich!
Not get it. Luke Yolich.
Yolich drops him for a loss of 5 on that play.
And given that they do not have a kicking game.
So 4th down. Yolich firing through from his linebacker position. Sims has been effective passing and keeping the ball alive, so got to think that that's what's going to be dialed up here. 4th down. Again, Wolverines need to get the ball just inside the 5-yard line, so call it 4th and 6. Sims the quarterback. Smith next to him. He's got a bunch formation on his left, 1 receiver to his right. And there's going to be a delay of game. So, delay of game penalty on. Don't come through. We got all these cords. So if you're coming around, go like through there very carefully. Okay.
Do you have anyone doing stats or no?
Yeah.
Can you get those for halftime stats?
Yes. Yep.
Is it in there?
It's a guy right down here. So we'll send him over to you. Okay. Sorry, I didn't know you were Marquis. I thought you were gonna. All right. So 4th down, 4th and 11. Sims passes it over to Brooks. Brooks really well pursued, but still on his feet. Babanefasimi, Clayton, Duhan. Ball going over the Dolphins on downs.
Excellent pursuit by the Dolphin defense. We had a lot going on. We were trying to navigate marquee personnel, keep eyes on the play, and the Dolphins did not disappoint.
Great job by that Dolphin defense.
5:20 left in the second quarter.
Wow. So
Exciting game.
Simeon marched at 90 yards after the Dolphins had marched at 75. So 3 different defensive stops with ball in deep in opposing territory. You know, that first drive, Wolverines were inside the Dolphins 20. Second drive, Dolphins were inside the Wolverine 5. And then this drive, Wolverines down to the 5 and then push back Yolich, big-time tackle on 3rd down. Then the delay of game penalty pushed it back. And then Babanefasimi, Duhan,
and
Clayton on that big-time 4th down tackle. So offense comes back on the field. Dolphins were able to churn out yards on the ground behind that offensive line. Dale Babanefasimi Obadele, Juan Cepeda, Jason Perez, Marcius Woods. I think that we got a 6th running back or 6th linebacker. Hood on his nice block by Rankin. Oh, they're going to get him on a penalty on that.
On a crackback?
They're going to get him on a blind side on it, but I would disagree. I would disagree entirely. So what is the question? Can we fill? Can you talk to that guy right there? He's doing the stats. Yep. So they're going to flag that. Well, actually.
The result of the play was a 1st down. However, during the run, personal foul, blindside block against the offense. The penalty will be enforced from the previous spot. We'll go half the distance to the goal. We'll repeat 1st down. Mr. Frank,
yeah.
please start the clock.
I would agree it's a lousy call because Rankin, I mean, and again, maybe you saw it better at home than what we saw it here live, but I mean,
his shoulders were square.
Yeah, exactly. The Simeon guy, it wasn't like he hit him in the back. I mean, it was a football play. Nasir Rankin made an incredible football play, and the refs weren't used to seeing that and ended up calling a penalty on it after Hood. Again, a great run by Hood, staying alive, but this is what it is. So here we are, going to be first down and a half a mile. So ball backed up inside the 5-yard line. Hood's talking to the referee, not very happy about the call. So Hood at quarterback, Jolich behind him. First down. Hood giving it to Jolich. Jolich with some room up the middle. I think he got tackled by, Beeler in there. I think the Whitney Young Dolphin faithful are not real happy about it. Getting a little chippy. Getting a little chippy in there. I like it. Maxwell Warner checking in. I was maybe getting a little chippy. So DeMille, Gray, Gassa at wide receiver. Dolphins checking in an extra offensive lineman. Rankin in motion. Give to Rankin. Rankin with the corner. Rankin across the 20-yard line. You said it last week, man.
He plants that foot. It's Katie bar the door.
Dolphins staying on the run here. So third down, they need to get across the 36-yard line for the first down. Hood at quarterback. 3 receivers to his left. Hood looking to his left, looking to pass. Now he's going to go down in the arms of
several Wolverines.
Yeah, Wolverine D-line on that side. And we may see the first punt. Going to see the first punt of the game. So it looked like Beeler in on that tackle, along with number 43, Gavin Harry. So Solomon Bradley checking in. So that drive derailed by the officials. Back deep to receive the punt, Keyshawn Parker. Bradley waiting for the snap from 4.5-star long snapper. Perfect snap. Kick is away. Nice high punt. Going to bounce. Oh.
If it had only
almost
touched
him
in the back.
Yep. Just skipped over the top of an unsuspecting Dwayne Brooks' shoulder. That thing was within inches of being recovered by the Whitney Young Dolphins. So we're going to go to, Marquee Network's going to go to timeout. We're going to stay right here because
we're professionals.
We are. We're something.
Professional what? I don't know.
We're something, all right. We know that for sure. Actually, why don't you come around in front because all of our wires are here. So, just loop around there. The Lane Stadium not perfectly set up for handling Marquee Network, the coaches and us. We're kind of in like we're like a freeway off ramp here. So the ball with the Simeon Wolverines going to take over in Dolphins territory. 3:04 left. We'll see if this Whitney Young Dolphins defense can hold here at the end of the first half. Woods, Baba Nefesimio Padele, Nick Dale on that D-line. BG3, Barry Gordon III, and Jason Perez outside linebackers. Jolich, Clayton holding down the middle. Hood, Duhan, Maxwell Warner, Nasir Rankin. Man, that's a lot of athletes out there. Sims at quarterback. Smith next to him. Give to Smith. Clayton with the tackle. So ripped off a 9-yard run on that first down by Smith. Smith, a sophomore. Sims, the quarterback, a junior.
They've got a lot of talent coming back next year.
Dwayne Brooks, the receiver we've seen a lot of tonight. Looks like this wide receiver on this side is lined up off sides. We'll see if we get a We'll get a flag on it. There's Sims keeping it. He was looking for Brooks. Now he gets it to Brooks. Jason Perez, Hood, ushered out of bounds over there by Nasir Rankin.
That play unfolded kind of oddly.
It sure was.
I thought maybe the Dolphins had him stopped.
Well, I think Sims was not sure if he wanted to deliver it over there to Brooks because of the pressure that was coming. But it was actually blocked pretty well downfield by Simeon. And got it to Brooks, actually a lateral. And then Brooks got enough for the first down. So 3 receivers to Sims' right, Smith to his right. Handoff to Smith. Smith still on his feet. And BG3 and Jolich and Gray in there for the tackle. 2 minutes. 2 minutes left here in the first half. Again, 0-0. Ball just outside the Dolphin 20-yard line. Semifinal matchup of the Chicago Public League. Dolphins again came in 8-3. Simeon 6-5. Both of these teams, the only losses these teams have all year are to state qualified teams. So you've got a lot of talent on the field. Great game. Sims second down. Giving it to Smith. Smith stopped short. Clayton, Dale, Hood on the end, but Clayton made that initial hit and dropped Smith short of the first down. So third down and 2. 3rd and 2. Wolverines back to the line. Clock running 1:09. They've got 2 timeouts left if they want to use them. Sims, who's been effective, and Smith trips in the backfield. Smith, I think Smith got him with a foot. So Smith ended up tripping. He's going to be short of the first down. So this is going to bring up a 4th down, and Simeon is going to take their second timeout.
Was there any gain on that play, or are they marking it as a no gain?
Looks like no gain. Looked like marked at no gain. He had a little bit of real estate there,
momentum,
I think.
Yeah. I got to tell you, this is a fun game to watch.
Heck of a lot of fun. So Dolphins going to check in. It looks like Dylan Paracchini checking in on that D-line. So under 52 seconds, 51.6 seconds left here in an extremely entertaining first half. Got to say, the most entertaining 0-0 game I've ever been part of.
Definitely. And if are we getting Paracchini on the line, beefing it up a little bit? And speaking of beef,
Sorelli's Finer Foods lobbed up and hammered home. So Sorelli's, our sponsor, season-long sponsor, provide sandwiches to our team pregame, postgame, and they can provide sandwiches to you as well.
I set them up.
Give Aunt Patty Sorelli a call. Sorelli's Finer Foods. 4th down play. Sims, the quarterback. Smith lining up to his left. Receivers 2 top, 2 bottom. Dolphin defense looking to hold. Sims looking to pass. He's got an open receiver. Still on his feet, so first down, ushered out of bounds by Clayton. So with 4th and 2, Simeon dials up the play. I think that was Dwayne Brooks again. So Brooks having a big-time game at the wide receiver slot.
Everybody bid on that ball fake.
Yep. And again, you had to think. So clock is running, 37 seconds left. Simeon back to the line. Brooks, the receiver, to the top side. Sims, the quarterback, gives it to Smith. Smith, tackle up the middle by Babanefesimio Badeli and Marcius Woods. And Simeon's going to take their 3rd and final timeout. So now the clock really comes into play.
That is the 3rd and final timeout of the first half.
You think back to that opening Dolphins drive when Simeon used a timeout, which we were talking about then, probably something that their defense definitely needed at the time. to kind of get reset, and they were able to stop the Dolphins. But now they're out of timeouts. 24.6 seconds left. You run the ball and you get stopped. You can get off 2 running plays
you
here.
You can get off 2 running plays.
Yeah. So they're second down, second and goal.
I think the success they're having with their short pass game, I can definitely see them dialing up something in that regard. They've been passing to the flat pretty consistently.
Yep, they've been able to hit Brooks consistently. Also a long pass to Xavier Magruder.
You think the Dolphins dial up press man?
You're gonna go press man? All right. Well, you have to, I think, at the 3, right? So you got defensive backs are Hood, Rankin, Maxwell Warner, Duhan. We'll see what Simeon comes out. And again, a little bit strange for these teams because you've got Marquee Network checking back in. So Simeon's gonna hustle back up to the line. 2 receivers left and right. Double tight end formation. Sims, the quarterback. Sims back to pass. Sims looking. Sims out of bounds. Incomplete. Nice coverage over on that side. I think that was Hood. Hood on the coverage along with Duhan on that side. I think Clayton was there. Yolich was out there as well. Maxwell Warner. I'll just call out everybody's name. Eventually, I'll get it right.
Broke clock is right twice a day, right?
That's right. So 19.9 seconds. Third down. Third and goal. So Simeon thinking the same thing. I mean, they have to be concerned about if they run a play and get stopped, can they get reset and run another play? So Sims, the quarterback, Smith to his left. Sims back to pass, looking across the middle, broken up nicely.
Excellent coverage.
Maxwell Warner. So that was intended for Brooks. Crossing pattern. Sims, good-looking passer. But Maxwell Warner able to keep a beat on Brooks, bringing up 4th down. So now the clock doesn't matter. 14.9 seconds left, but Simeon, 4th down, looking to score here. Dolphins looking to stop him. Sims, nice job. Rankin on Magruder, and the Dolphins stop the Wolverines again inside the 5-yard line. Holy cow. This is a game.
That was excellent coverage.
So Rankin and Warner, the uber athletes out of that sophomore class for the Dolphins, playing those cornerback positions, both come up with big-time pass breakups, with Simeon knocking on the door. So last night I saw the highlights of the, let's see, it was Sandwich against, I'm trying to remember who they were playing against, with a 99-yard touchdown pass. You think Hood might want to dial that up here?
Can't hurt.
Hood is under center. Hood, 3 receivers to his right, and he's going to take a knee. And Coach Finger and the Dolphins going to head back to the locker room. Simeon going to head back to the locker room and talk over what has been an extremely entertaining first half. The Cowbells are out in force. Still 0-0, but each of these teams have gone on massive drives. This is probably the most yards that you're ever going to have in a 0-0 high school game at halftime. Really entertaining, lots of fun. Mark Duhan dapping us up.
Got to say, I'm seeing a lot of smiles on the faces of these Dolphin players.
Well, they came in, and I have to say, this team was they were loose all week. They're having fun. this is something that all year, this doesn't surprise them. This does not surprise this team.
Not at all.
The city championship is something that they started talking about probably after the last game of last season.
They have, first half was great. I don't think anyone has any need to regret any part of that half of football.
Oh, yep. No, it was great. I mean, I think one of the things there is like, hang on, I'm gonna hand off my keys to Dan Gray so he can. Oh, hey Dan. So I'm in the same quad. Oh, okay. Okay. All right. See, it takes a village here. I got Dan Gray. He collects the keys to my car. I've got the cooler in the back of my car with ice. Dan puts the Gatorade in the cooler, and then we deliver it to the players after the game. Heck of a lot of fun here. I will talk about other games that are going on just because we have 15 minutes of halftime to fill. And, there's some other stuff going on. I guess there's a state tournament going on that there's one or two things that might be notable in it. Some of those big games that are going on right now on the 7A side or 8A side, Lincoln Way East against Warren. So Lincoln Way East is outside of the Mount Carmel and Loyola's of the world. Lincoln Way East is always knocking on the door. So they're 11-0. They're seeking their 5th trip to the semifinals since 2017. So
they haven't moved up to the NCAA level yet. they're at least Division II.
Yeah, I would say without a doubt they're Division II. They go against Warren, and so Warren has reeled off 9 in a row. They've only lost to Barrington and Maine South, so other teams that are in the quarterfinals. So there's a heck of a lot of great football. And again, when we talk about some of these players out here tonight, you talk about guys with Bama, Ohio State, Notre Dame offers. I mean, yes, there are amazing high school football hotbeds of Texas and Florida and Ohio and California, but Illinois is putting together a lot of really nice high-end football that producing D1 guys, but also the action that's going on right now at the state level is impressive. So we also have Maine South going against Barrington, so just mentioned those. They were the losses that Warren had, so those teams square off against each other. Maine South, I mentioned this before, they lost Jack DeFilippis, their starting quarterback, in the first half of their first game. DeFilippis is a guy that Hood and Bennett Newman work out in the offseason, but Maine South has put it together. I was looking at Maine South. They have so their quarterback right now is Constantine Coins. He's done a really nice job all year putting together 10 straight wins. Maine South also has a freshman quarterback and an 8th grade quarterback who are both ranked among the top 5 in the country and all already have multiple offers.
An embarrassment of riches.
So they're just cranking some things out there. Talked about Morgan Park and St. Francis. So Morgan Park was down in that game. That game started at 12:30. We'll try to see if we can get a score on that. But Morgan Park was the remaining Chicago Public League team in the playoffs at 5A. A super exciting game, I think. Again, I'll check. I'll see if I can pull up some Sun Times scores. So Naz got in the tournament at 4-5. Nazareth Academy. They were traveling to Carmel. So Carmel Catholic up in Mundelein. Carmel Catholic led by Johnny Weber and Tori English. So that was going to be big time 5A matchup. And then you also had 5A, you had Joliet Catholic against Morris. That's going on right now. So a few of those games, again, it's Ignatius was down playing against Loyola Ignatius. St. Ignatius, a team that last year was at the 6A level, but some of the success qualifiers bumped them up to 8A. So I think it looks like they're going to go down to Loyola. Edwardsville against York, also at 8A. And then we talked about the other 8A teams. I think at the 7A level, a lot of people talked about tons and tons of talent at that level. All right, so Scott Clayton is giving me some scores. Love it. So looks like so from the top, St. Francis defeats Morgan Park 37-14. So Chicago Public League exits the state tournaments. Naz, is that a final? I think so.
I think so.
So Naz as the lowest seed in that bracket defeats Carmel 21-17. Now we're cycling back. We need a screen. I was watching like a Thursday night football game, and they showed what like all those guys have. They have like multiple screens.
Yeah.
They have multiple spotters. Here we're just trying to pull up things on our phone and not sound stupid. At the 6A level.
I don't know that any phone could help me in that regard.
No, we need well, I don't know what we need there. I wake up, I roll out of bed stupid. At 6A, East St. Louis, Kankakee. How about that?
Wow.
Yeah, so that's a great matchup. East St. Louis, just a historic. Kellen Winslow played there. Just an amazing program. They played against Mount Carmel, first game of the year. That's their only loss on the season. Kankakee led by the Big Easy, Marcus Easley, heading to Georgia. So Kankakee, the number 1 seed, East St. Louis, number 4. Big article in the Sun-Times this week about Catholic school versus public schools and where the advantages are, and definitely the private school, let's call them private schools. Private schools have an advantage, right? They have an advantage on a recruiting standpoint. They have an advantage on a budget standpoint if they can generate the donations.
Even a larger radius to
Absolutely.
recruit
They
from.
got a 30-mile radius around where they are. East St. Louis is the aberration in the top 4. I think so. I think it's Loyola, Mount Carmel, Providence all have the most state titles, but then East St. Louis sneaks in there. They're also in double digits. So East St. Louis against Kankakee going on right now. Actually, probably over. Started at 1.
Getting ahead of ourselves, I think the IHSA is actually looking to remedy a little bit of that.
Well, there have been some proposals, so we'll see. And it was also pointed out in one of those articles that IHSA is
Run by the schools.
And there are significantly more public schools than private schools in that mix. So if they really want to push the agenda on some of these issues around competitiveness, around how the state tournament is structured, how other things are there, I think there would be the ability to do that. Providence, talked about Providence being in that list. Providence, and I'll shout out to Byron Dawkins, Bennett Newman's quarterback coach, and a guy that's been instrumental in his development, instrumental in Anthony Hood's development as well, along with Landon Cox, that the wide receiver whisperer who's produced a lot of the high-end receivers here in the Chicagoland area. So Providence is taking on Highland tonight at the 5A level. Oh, that was Wheaton Academy. I couldn't get to my head. So Wheaton was at Sandwich last night. Wheaton had the 99-yard touchdown reception. The other real big game at the 4A level, St. Lawrence against IC Catholic. IC Catholic led by KJ Parker, who's heading to Iowa. And then Hope Academy. So if I can't remember what we talked about when we were on air, when we were not on air. So Hope Academy was up significantly over Rova in their 1A match. So it looks like Hope and Coach Millette will move on to the state quarterfinals.
Is it the quarter or the semi?
Semi, sorry. Yep. So we're at that level. Scott, I thought one thing that we could do is, well, we still have 5 minutes left here, and we've got a half of football left, and hopefully we have a couple more games left. Did want to peek ahead. Oh, I think, yep, all right. Brian's going to give us some stats here. Brian, did you charge Marquee Network for your statistician's work? So if we look at the stats today, oh my God, this is just going to be so much fun to read. So time of possession, who do you think had the ball more?
Dolphins.
Simeon, but 12 minutes and 16 seconds. Whitney Young, 11 minutes and 44 seconds. So Simeon got the opening kickoff, right? So
exactly.
And also, important to note, Whitney Young will get that second half kickoff. Simeon, 48 yards rushing, 153 yards through the air, so 169 total. So Sims hooking up with Dwayne Brooks and Magruder for 169 yards. Dolphins, 64 yards rushing, total yards 76 yards. First down, Simeon 9, Whitney Young with 4. Passing, Hood is just 0 of 1. Sims 8 of 12 for that 153 yards. For Simeon on the ground, Smith with 37 yards, Sims with 12. Clayton, 4 carries, 10 yards. Hood, 11 for 35. Warner, 1 for 9. Yolich, 2 for 1. Rankin, 1 for 9. So, again, a lot of action going on the field. What I was going to segue to is, we talk, and especially homecoming senior night, talked a lot about the 10 seniors on this team and just I don't know, it's like maybe a little cliche to say, but good God, the heart and soul of this team. Clayton and Hood, guys that have been part of this program at a varsity level for their entire careers here at Whitney Young, and have been guys that I don't know where the record book is, but they're in it without a doubt. And then and you talk about Baba Nefasimi Opedele and Jason Perez on that line. Talk about Bennett Newman, who's not seeing action tonight, but the first half of the year was just a lights out quarterback.
The team.
Yeah, yep, and yeah, I mean, it's, again, we talk about like the switch of what this offense have done. Newman's still dialed in. I mean, he's putting in time after practice with Hood. I mean, quite frankly, Hood would rather be a receiver, but he understands what he needs to do. But if you turn the page forward to next year's team, and I just wrote this stuff down today, and man, you got to be excited as a Whitney Young Dolphin fan. And I think, first of all, it starts on that line, that offensive and defensive line. And so Nick Dale, Juan Cepeda, Marcius Woods, those are guys that have started essentially every game
the entire season
since they've checked in. So you've had that core of that line, and then you've had some guys that have seen time this year: Dylan Pericini, Oshesky, Del Villar, Alan Espinoza. So we actually, Opedele and Perez are a lot of strength out of those guys. Not the biggest dudes in the world, right? We talk about how they are every week probably outweighed by 100 pounds on guys that they're going against. Next year, that D line or that offensive and defensive line gets actually bigger. Yep, gets bigger.
which is frightening, especially given how powerful Opedele and Perez are.
Yeah.
It's almost frightening.
Yeah, so it's one of these things where it's probably a different look, right? Because those guys are also fast, right? So you're able to do some things. So I think offensive, defensive line, you're in a good spot, and that gives you your starting point of everything that you want to build off of. Linebacker, obviously, Clayton will go down as the best linebacker in Whitney Young history.
I don't know about that.
I don't know. I mean, the dude has gone over 100 tackles each of the last 3 years. I don't know.
Okay.
I'm gonna give him the crown on that.
All right.
Alex Dale can fight me on it. He's going up the stairs right now. He would win, but I would still be right. But talking about next year, Yolich, who you've already seen make some big-time tackles tonight, I think Gray moves down from a defensive back position, and he's played a bunch of linebacker this year. Also,
what about
thinking
Maxwell Warner?
Well, so don't jump ahead because I still got other linebackers to talk about. I mean, on the edge, you've got BG3, who's playing. Barry Gordon III playing extremely well. Aaron Champion, who's played a bunch already this year, filling in after Tyson Hayes got hurt. So you've got the edge covered, and then you got a bunch of these guys, Rayton Scotemere, Damian Mendez, Darian Kostoff. I mean, guys that have played on the JV level and are going to keep getting bigger, faster, stronger. And then, yes, let's move over to the defensive backfield where you're loaded up with athletes back there. All right, so you've got Maxwell Warner,
Rankin,
Duhan,
Mach
5. 2 pick sixes this year. You plug in guys like Will DeMille, Bennett DeRoss, Miles Bardsma. I mean, so again, guys that have played extremely well, JV, but also special teams this year.
So what you're saying is there's continuity.
There's a heck of a lot of continuity, and so then let's move over.
I'll tell you, the only thing that will be lacking, the talent.
Well, hey, we're working. There's a contract in negotiations right now. So Scott, after you and I go on our darkness retreat, so we're going on a darkness retreat with a couple 6-packs of beer and maybe a nice bottle of bourbon.
There you go.
And then we'll see what happens on the live stream. But on the offensive side of the ball, you graduate Clayton, who's the leading rusher right now, but you got Yolich and Maxwell Warner there. Also, guys, Sean Miller put in a lot of good work on the JV level. I know they're excited about him as an athlete. Tim Edwards. So you've got the ability to keep it rolling as at the backfield. We talked about the defensive backfield. Those are also your wide receivers. So Rankin, Duhan, Joseph Gray, Brandon Dockett, Will DeMille. So a lot of speed out there, a lot of guys who have played a lot in this game. And again, you talk about speed, but also blocking ability, just the ability to be on a field and be successful.
And Ziggy
Conrad at quarterback. So Von Conrad, who's gotten some varsity time. I also think, and I had a little conversation with Eddie Boucher. Eddie loves to run the ball, right? And there's something to be said for it, right? It's something to be said as far as what that brings to your offense. So I think Von Conrad showed the ability, some speed on the field. I think that they're going to look like they have this year in getting the ball in the hands of Anthony Hood and Joseph Clayton as many times as he can. I think next year you're looking at the opportunity to get Yolich, Maxwell Warner, Rankin, Duhan, get the ball in their hands as many times. And I think this coaching staff has sort of said, hey, we're going to figure out the way to do that, whether that's running the ball, whether that's passing the ball. I also want to mention, on the special team side of things, Solomon Bradley, who is a kicker and a punter. Also, we saw on a kickoff return this year that he can lay the wood. So he's also a guy that...
Goodness gracious, did he hit that kid.
Yeah, that kid is still... that kid, they're still trying to dig him out of last month where Bradley sent him to. He's in September. But Bradley also is so you can play defensive back. So let's not forget
the long snapper,
4.5-star long snapper. So I've been calling him a 4-star long snapper. His mom reminded me today that there is a half-star on that as well. That I cannot.
All of his flowers.
Absolutely.
Give him.
Absolutely. So again, it's big. It's big in Chicago Public League to be able to do all that. Talk about just the nuances of this game. Dolphins came in, I think, +8 in turnover differential, if I can say that. 11 interceptions on the year, so that's Rankin with 5 of those, Duhan with 2, Maxwell Warner with 2. All those guys are back next year. So I think, again, we want to continue this year for this class of 2024 seniors. 10 of those guys out there tonight, but we also know that Coach Dan Finger has really put together a great Whitney Young Dolphins program. And we're going to get set for the second half of football here.
We'll get our first look at the Simeon kicking game.
I'm going to add
shout out
Simeon's timeouts back in.
Shout out to Janae Clayton for the bottle of water.
All right. Scott's got it's like the entire Scott Clayton fan club this year. So we are having a lot of fun tonight. I hope you're having a lot of fun out there wherever you're joining us from.
So what do we know about the Simeon kicking game?
We'll find out. I have to say, this week it was a little bit of an aberration for me because I spent a whole lot of time trying to figure out what was going on with the live stream, and I didn't have as much time to look at film. Usually I watch a couple games. Looks like it's Magruder who's teeing it up. Magruder or maybe Demarion Harris. Actually, Demarion Harris is teeing it up. We've got Maxwell Warner and Rankin deep there. They've got their heels at the 10. Harris has got it teed up, and we're getting ready for a second half of action here. Semifinal Chicago Public League playoffs. Winner of this game faces off against Kenwood. There's a spiraling kick, goes Dockett.
Probably should have let it go out of bounds.
Could have let it go out of bounds. But the Dolphins will take over at the 22-yard line. again.
Oh, that
Hood.
was painful to hear the public address announcer.
Yeah, well, and he got it wrong, too, because it was Dockett, but that's okay. DeMille is in, and Harrison Gossa. Quarterback, Anthony Hood. Again, ball just staying on the ground here. Dolphins have shifted into this run-first offense. Only attempted one pass, which was almost a touchdown pass by Hood to Gossa. Rankin in motion, handoff. Oh, Hood keeps it up the middle, picking his way across the 25-yard line.
He fooled you.
He did fool me. I was looking at Nasir Rankin. So Simeon, we've talked about Mike Schenbieler. We've talked about Chris Burgess, their outside edge rushers. Number 36, Charles Smith, also middle linebacker. So Simeon, solid defense. Simeon hasn't given up a point in their last, call it 6 quarters for sure. They didn't give up any points last week to Amundsen. Handoff up the middle and wrestled down immediately was Clayton. So that was Beeler on the tackle. Oh, that was Yolich, sorry.
Simeon is loading up the box. I mean, everybody was pretty much up in that tackle box.
Third down, 3rd and 7. So Clayton checks back in now. And so, yeah, we'll looks like everybody up. Simeon plays a lot of man coverage, which allows them to load up the box. So 3 receivers, and it is man coverage on the left-hand side for Hood. Hood keeping it, and he is brought down by Kai Brown, defensive end, junior. So Dolphins going to go 3 and out here.
Not the way you want to start the second half off.
Nope. But the defense has done its job so far. So Bradley fumbles the snap but gets it away. Kick is on the ground. Taken. Nice pursuit. Bardsma and then Joseph Gray bringing down number 26, Demarion Williams. So Bradley did a good job. He had dropped the snap, but did a good job of picking it up, getting the ball away. Wolverines will have good field position, though, inside Dolphins territory at the 47-yard line.
Looks like we've got a change of possession TV timeout.
So just started here in the second half. Again, Simeon, 2 long drives in that first half, really 3 long drives. Dolphins had the ball inside the 3-yard line, 2nd and goal at the 3, and weren't able to punch it in. Simeon twice inside the 5 and weren't able to punch it in. So a lot of offense, but ultimately the defensive have been what has mattered here. Dolphins have punted twice. Simeon has yet to punt, but has yet to score. So they've gone 4. The Dolphins have gotten, I think, 4 fourth down stops?
I believe so.
4.
And to digress just a little bit.
We love to digress.
Given that I'm probably going to that dark place, I'm getting Nightmare Before Christmas villain vibes from the White Hat. Just looking at him walk across the field reminds me of the character.
All right, so Sims comes out as quarterback. Smith behind him.
The cowbell.
3 receivers to the top. Handoff to Smith. Nick Dale. Joseph Clayton. Jason Perez. Anthony Hood. But Dale was the guy who shot through there and made the initial hit and blew that play up.
Clayton hanging on for dear life.
Clayton said, he never disengaged. He was down there. So Smith, who is a big back, Smith has got to be at least 6'2". So first down, call it no gain. Good job by the D-line.
That's strength training.
So Nick Dale Marcius Woods, Babanefsimi Opadele in on that D-line to start. Sims is hooked up with Brooks and Magruder quite a few times here. Sims back to pass, looking deep. He's got a receiver, and wrestled out of bounds by Hood and Rankin.
Used
So I think that was
every bit of his height on that one.
Yep. Yep. So that was it Harris? I think so.
Yeah.
Brings the Wolverines inside the red zone.
So another long pass. Sims has had it dialed up.
Getting Morgan Park vibes here, the way they're going through the air.
So first down, ball inside the 15. Sims, Smith next to him. Handoff to Smith. Redirected outside. Barry Gordon on the chase, but I think Sims, did he get
They're marking him down.
They're going to mark him down. I thought maybe he got the pylon. So they're going to have first down inside the one, probably at the 1 yard line. So that was Smith on the give from Sims. So Simeon has shown the ability to run the ball and pass the ball. Dolphins defense has been able to get the stops inside, deep inside their own territory. Here we're having the officials check in together. I'm not quite sure what's going on here.
Looks like we have a security issue.
Oh yeah, somebody was off too far on the. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I think maybe they're getting. I don't know if he's yelling because he thought that should have been a touchdown, but they are ushering a fan out of the stands right now. It is not you or I, so which is somewhat surprising, but we're doing our job up here.
At least trying to.
Security's doing their job. I think the fan was exiting. Yeah, turned around and had a couple more words to say. So I think all good now. We're going to get back to action. First and goal at the 1. Early here in the third quarter. Again, Dolphins went first to 3 and out on their first possession. Low snap.
Ground.
Sims brought down. Yolich on the tackle. So snap was low. Sims tried to field it off of his shoe top. And Yolich got there and took him down. Loss of 4 on the play. Ball back to the 5 yard line. Simeon back at it. 3 receivers right. 1 to the top side. Sims with Smith next to him. Sims waiting for the snap. Hand off to. There was an illegal motion. Yep, there was motion in the middle.
The right guard.
Yep, drop the foot back. Yep, so going to be a 5 yard penalty. All right, we're getting the full paragraph, full paragraph explanation from the official. We appreciate that. We appreciate the detail. We appreciate the 5 yards being marched off against Simeon.
Now I feel bad giving my comment. No, I don't.
So, still a first down. First and goal, ball at the 10. 3 receivers to the bottom of your screen. Brooks to the top. Sims, the quarterback. Smith next to him. Snap. Sims back to pass. He's got time. He sails it deep. Duhan on the coverage.
Duhan looked like he was giving up about 1.5 feet.
I was thinking the exact same thing. I think that's Demarion Harris, 6'5", 193. Duhan, 5'10", in Akron. 5'8". All right, so third down. Yeah, so third down. Yeah, third down after that. The first down was the bad snap. Now an incomplete pass. 3 receivers right. Brooks again to the top side. Smith giving it and knocked down immediately. Marquise Woods and Yolich in on the stop. So Rico D'Alessandro and Joseph Gray checking in for Dale and Marquise Woods. Going to try to chase down the Simeon Wolverines. Wolverines put 2 receivers to the top side. Brooks with Rankin on him. Duhan on the receiver in the slot. Looking at Brooks. Sims rushed out of the pocket. Sims, BG3's got a receiver open in the back of the end zone, and it's a touchdown.
We got a flag on the play.
But there is a flag on the play.
Illegal
Ineligible
man
downfield. Ineligible man downfield. So that play took a long time to develop.
It did.
I think Sims' offensive lineman might have been thinking it was going to be a run. He had some room over there. Officials are having the conversation here. So this is going to be the strangest call. Okay. He said something strange there. He said the result of the play was a first down.
He meant touchdown.
Right. So, which didn't matter because that wasn't the result of the play. The result of the play was ineligible receiver downfield. Brings up 4th and goal from the 15. So again, Sims kept that alive. One of his linemen strayed downfield beyond the yard that they're allowed. So 3 receivers left. Brooks to the top. Sims with some pressure from Brabasimi Opedele coming to the backside on him. He wings it across and broken up.
I think we might get
Joseph Clayton.
I think we might get him sheathing the sword. He might sheathe the sword on this one.
A little seatbelt action. Nice job at the goal line where Clayton and several others, I think Duhan, others converged on that ball. Simeon receiver is down right now. 6:49 left here. Holy cow, I hope you're having fun out there. We're having fun here. Scott Clayton getting a little sideline celebration here. Not that we're celebrating that Simeon guy is down. He's up now, so looking good. 6:49 left here in the third quarter. Again, Simeon drives, gets the ball inside, gets to the 1 yard line. We get a fan that gets ejected that we have to wait for. We get a snap off the shoe tops of Sims that he gets tackled for a loss by Yolich. Then I'm trying to remember everything. And then a pass breakup, but then a touchdown call back for an eligible man downfield, and now a pass breakup at the end zone. So that was Magruder, who's had a nice game today, who is down, coming back. He's as they say, under his own power, heading back to the sideline.
He's holding his left arm a little.
Yeah, I think he got walloped in there. So Dolphins are going to take over. Ball at the 15-yard line.
Yeah, a lot of people underestimate just how much power Clayton is bringing, and goofing around. I've been on the receiving end of it.
He packs a punch. I mean, his mom is tough.
Yo, she's a killer, man. Coach Eddie Boucher getting the offense out on the field.
Offense rolling back in. Duhan, Gassa, Gray, receivers. Guessing Rankin's out there as well. Hood rolling at quarterback. Clayton behind him. We'll see if this Dolphins running game with the box entirely stacked. That's Hood looking for the edge. Hood's got the edge. Hood's still on his feet. Out of bounds. Close to the 25-yard line.
So on that one, I was fooled. I was watching Clayton
you
up
watched
the middle.
The give up the middle, and Hood kept it, and looks like just short of the first down. So probably 2nd and
less than a yard. So Jolich checks in at running back. Rankin and Gray, the receivers, to the left. Duhan to the top side. Gassa as a tight end. Hood waiting for the snap. Hood keeping it himself. Hood, first down. Hood still on his feet. Out to the 38-yard line.
He didn't even bother faking on that one.
Nope, Hood, just incredible vision from that position. Get the ball in that guy's hands and let him cook. So Jolich off, Clayton back in. Clock running here, 5:46 left in the third quarter. Dolphins out to the 39-yard line with a first down. Duhan, Clayton in the slot on the top side. Three receivers to Hood's left. Hood alone in the end zone, in the backfield. Handoff. Hood keeps it himself. Hood is still picking his way. Hood across the 40 to about the 42-yard line, where he is met and ushered out of bounds by number 31, Chris Burgess.
Anthony Hood carries it for 3 touchdowns.
Burgess, he of 30 Division I offers, edge rusher for Simeon. 30 and counting, I would imagine.
Wow.
And he's a junior.
Good for him.
So Burgess and Beeler, defensive standouts for Simeon. Hood picked up 4 on that first down. Rankin with the ball. Rankin cutting it upfield, squirts through there for a couple. Brought down on the play by Charles Smith.
Good edge blocking.
Yeah, well, and there Simeon did a nice job of taking that away, right? So he couldn't get to the edge because probably Parker over here on the corner, some of his other friends on the right-hand side had enough of a push. So going to bring up a third down. Dolphins need to get to the 49, their 49-yard line for a first down. So 3rd and 5. Hood, Clayton to his left, 3 receivers to the right, Gassa to the left. Hood, snap, Hood keeping it, Hood passing the ball. Oh, the Dolphin faithful are not happy about that. Rankin not happy about that. Rankin got held coming across the middle on that pass attempt.
There were 2 infractions on that play. There was an obvious defensive holding, but the Simeon defensive line jumped before the ball was snapped.
So it looks like Dolphins are going to go for it here. Wonder if Hood has figured out the hard count. If Newman has taught him the hard count, that would be something kind of fun to go and have happen right here. So 3 receivers to the top side. Duhan to the bottom. Jolich in the backfield. Hood back to pass. Hood with time. He's got an open receiver.
They're going to call holding.
So it's Jolich, and they're going to call probably either a hold or an offensive interference, offensive pass interference downfield. So we'll see what we're going to get.
It could be anything.
It could be anything, but the flag was downfield in that area, and it was a screen pass completed from Hood to Jolich. There's quite a conversation that's going on right now.
I've seen the
So
signal
we'll
is
see
holding.
Which way is it going? I think the Dolphins sideline.
The result of the play is a first down. However, during the run,
All right, so we're going to get
offense.
he's pointing the wrong way.
He's pointing the wrong
So
way.
From the end of the run,
So here's what's happening, I think.
He
if
said
this is
offense,
correct. He
but
said
it's-
offense, but he pointed at the defense.
Yeah.
So either way, it's a Dolphins first down. We'll try to figure out what he actually means. Defensive holding. So defensive holding. So one of the Simeon defenders was holding one of the blockers that was heading out there. So you get a first down on that first pass completion of the day. Hood to Jolich for the first down, and then they're going to tack on the hold, I think, downfield, a spot foul against Simeon. So the Dolphins
pushed the ball across the 30-yard line. So first down on that fourth down play. That was a fourth down conversion. First pass completion for the Dolphins today. 0-0, 3:46 left. Hood with Clayton next to him. Hood signals. Clayton, a reverse to Rankin. Rankin gets the corner. Great block on the corner. Rankin with a cutback all the way back across the field for a touchdown.
Same play they scored with last week.
Yeah, and the blocks that came downfield, Quinn Duhan, Anthony Hood, Rankin made 3 different cuts on that and puts it in the end zone for a touchdown.
Excellent call by the Dolphin coaching staff.
So Bradley on to attempt the extra point. A lot of height on that Simeon D line. Snap from Barrett to Conrad. The kick is up, and the kick is good. Bradley 20 for 20 on the season.
3:28 left in the third quarter.
Rankin with just a heck of a run, and the Dolphins with a heck of a job blocking on that play. And I got to say, I think it was Duhan on the side, did a really nice job of staying engaged, but then disengaging after the Rankin cutback, which is where we see a lot of those holds happen, right?
Because you see the grab of the jersey.
So really nice job. Dolphins go on top 7-0 here. 3:28 left in the third quarter. Simeon has been able to move the ball, but the Dolphin defense and some Simeon miscues deep in Dolphins territory still has a 0 on the scoreboard for them. Well, the Whitney Young Dolphins, after a big fourth down conversion, that pass from Hood to Jolich. And then the Rankin run for a touchdown puts Whitney up 7-0 here. Third quarter, Chicago Public League semifinal game. Bradley getting ready to kick the ball away. Bradley tees it up. A high, short kick going to be fielded at about the 20. Simeon, receiver ushered out of bounds just across the 35-yard line.
It's good to see.
So,
is that Magruder, number 84 for Simeon, back in the game?
Check back in. So defensive line, Nick Dale, Marcius Woods, Bobanefasimi Opedeli doing their job up front. Jolich, Clayton, BG3, Barry Gordon III, and Jason Perez, linebackers. Maxwell Warner, Rankin, corners with Hood and Duhan as the safeties. We got Sims at quarterback, Smith next to him. Sims looking deep for a pass. Duhan tracking it off his hands. And they're going to get a pass interference. So that pass was intended for Harris. And I don't think the Dolphin fans are going to be very happy with that. There was some. I was actually watching more where that ball was ending up with Duhan tracking it down.
It was actually not unlike the call we wanted in the first half, where
against Harris and Gossa.
Their feet got tangled up.
Yep. So there was, especially with the ball hanging in the air, I think a lot of heads were turning back toward the ball and a lot of feet and legs tangling up. But so we'll see. I mean, officials still talking about this. Maybe the back judge saw it differently.
However, during the play, we had pass interference against the defense. We also had illegal man downfield.
Offsetting penalties.
So offsetting penalties because there was an eligible receiver downfield. So pass interference call, ineligible receiver downfield on Simeon. So when Sims is rolled, he's had some guys sneaking downfield. Officials have been watching that closely. think that the Dolphin fans are still giving it a little bit to the referee over on this side on that call. But at the end of the day, it's replay, first down, 3:13 left here in the third quarter. Sims at quarterback, Smith next to him. 3 receivers to his right. I think that's Brooks in the slot. 1 receiver to the top side. Sims hands off to Smith. Smith with an opening. Duhan with a nice tackle along the sideline.
Mach 5 closing fast.
Mach 5 Akron gravel truck ushering Smith out of bounds.
Gravel truck?
It's a fast gravel truck. It's got turbo in it.
Ah, okay.
So a second down and 6. Ball at the 41-yard line. Clock running here, 2:39 left in the third quarter. Sims and Smith in the backfield. Gonna always keep your eye on Brooks, although Magruder and Domarion Harris have been involved in that passing game as well. There's a handoff to Smith. Smith gets met in the middle by Jolich and then pushed back. He had a head of steam, and
Hit a
Jolich,
brick wall.
the all-conference shortstop, and soon to be at some point in his future all-conference linebacker. I'm going to make the call on that. I know we have some bunch of these Dolphins will be seeing postseason honors at the city level. Clayton, without a doubt. So third down, third and short. Sims, Smith, Sims to Smith. Smith tackled by BG3. I think you're going to give them forward progress. BG3, yep, they're moving the chains. Nice stop by Barry Gordon, but Smith got just to the line to gain.
Simeon carries it for first down.
Ball at the 48-yard line. Everybody taking a little bit of a breath. Whew. I'm taking a breath, but not for long. We're going to be back at it here. 3 receivers. Again, I'm watching Brooks. He's in the slot. Smith in the backfield next to Sims. First down. Sims on the give.
Met immediately.
Marcius Woods. MJ Woods. Coach Finger has talked all year about MJ from that defensive line spot. His job is taking up multiple offensive linemen, and he's not a guy that hits the stat sheet very often, but he's doing his job. That time he shed multiple offensive linemen, met Smith in the backfield, and dropped him for a 3-yard loss.
He had one
Big
job.
time play by the sophomore.
One job, and he did it well.
2nd and 13. Sims back to pass. He's got time. He's looking deep. Duhan on the coverage. Nice job. No way! Oh, my God. That was a terrible call. Absolutely terrible call. I think that ref on the side is saying you got to pick that up.
Waving it off.
That was an incredibly terrible call if that stands. Duhan never got anywhere close. That is just an atrocious call if it stands. No way.
Awful call.
Unbelievable call.
Just patently awful.
Unbelievable call. That there cannot be a worse call than that. There was no contact on that play whatsoever. Holy cow. Well, that goes back to what you said earlier. That is ridiculous. Holy cow.
Hey, you get what you pay for, right?
So Simeon takes over. First down at the Dolphin 40-yard line. Dolphins got to shake that off. Sims with the carry. Clayton meets him in the hole and dumps him.
He's a little fired up there.
All right, so player down on the field by for the Dolphins right now. I think that might be MJ Woods, so we'll check on him.
Dolphin faithful still talking about
all right,
that
so
awful call.
That was end of third quarter in the middle of all of that after the stroke I just had.
Goodness Lord.
Well, I mean, I don't know where the Marquee Network camera was on that, but hopefully all of Chicagoland got to see how atrocious that call was. So we're going to have MJ Woods after that big time stop out there.
Coming
Looks
off on
like
his
he's
own.
doing all right.
Yeah.
I think actually getting him some water there, so that might have been a cramp. Dolphin defense doing its job. They're going to flip the field. Fourth quarter, Dolphins up 7-0 right now. Rankin on a touchdown run after the Dolphins had converted a fourth down screen pass from Hood to Yolich. First pass the Dolphins completed all day. Both teams have been able to move the ball, but both teams' defensive have been tough when they needed to be tough.
Yeah, I don't know that you can call it stout given all the yards in between, but
yeah,
definitely.
I mean, but both of these teams, I mean, again, just tons of athletes on the field right now, and they're doing their job on both sides. So it's going to bring up a 2nd and 11. Simeon needs to get it to the Dolphin 30-yard line for a first down. Seen Sims been able to hook up with his receivers, Brooks, Magruder, and Harris. Quite a bit. Smith has carried the load on the ground. Still waiting to get back from commercial break. I think Sorelli's Sandwiches, Sorelli's Finer Foods, maybe a little action over there on the Marquee Network. So Simeon comes out, 3 receivers to the top side. Morrow to the bottom. Smith next to Sims in the backfield. Sims back to pass. He's looking. If Warner can get his head around, nice coverage. Great coverage on that side by Maxwell Warner, and the laundry stays in the pocket as well it should. So great coverage, and the receiver ran out of room with Maxwell Warner on him. So going to bring up 3rd down, 3rd and 11. So Sims has been able, he's had some time back there as the Dolphins, I think on that probably rushed 3 or 4.
Well,
so trying to play some contain.
Yeah, Clayton came on the blitz around the edge.
So 3 receivers to the top side. That's Brooks to the far top of the screen. Sims back to pass. Sims looking to run. Bob and Efesimi there. Bob and Efesimi coming around the backside. Nick Dale passes deep. Rankin, nice job.
Incomplete.
And incomplete. So Rankin did a heck of a job staying in coverage for an extremely long time. You had Bob and Efesimi, Jason Perez, Nick Dale all given pursuit on Sims, and Rankin did a nice job, got his head turned, stayed in phase on the receiver, and got the PBU on 3rd and long. So it's going to bring up a 4th down.
And 11.
4th and 11. Simeon receiver coming off the field. Simeon, I'm not sure if they. So I think they're bringing in Keyshawn Parker. I think maybe Sims got hurt on that play. So Keyshawn Parker, number 3, is checked in.
Sims is coming back in.
Sims is coming back in. So how many guys are in the huddle? Keyshawn Parker might be coming in at a different position here. So Parker is, Parker going out as he's listed as a quarterback, but he's going out as I think he's in as the other wide receiver. That wide receiver was out on the last play. So 2 receivers to the top, 2 to the bottom. Sims the quarterback Smith next to him. Sims back to pass. Sims with time. Over the middle, intercepted by Rankin. Rankin at the 30. Rankin at the 40. Rankin out of bounds at the 45-yard line. The sophomore 6th interception on the year.
Nazir Rankin.
Rankin read it from his corner position, then used his basketball leaping ability for his 6th interception, the Dolphins' 12th team interception on the year. And the Dolphins will take over at the 45-yard line. So nice coverage. Dolphins recover after the atrocious pass interference call. I'm not going to get over that. I'm not over the Clark pass interference call from last year. This one I definitely am not going to get over for a long time.
Hey, it's what you get when you have amateur referees.
Amateur referees and professional play-by-play and color commentators, right?
I mean,
there's a reason we make the big bucks over here.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah, no problem.
Yeah,
so, Dolphins, 11:30 left here. Semifinal game of the city playoffs. Again, Kenwood beat Phillips earlier today, 31-6. So, Kenwood in to the city playoffs. Simeon was the city playoff champion last year. Mentioned Malik Elzy was their star player. Elzy, a top 25 wide receiver in the nation, had a really long social media campaign about he committed to Cincinnati, then ended up decommitting and went to Illinois. Has a touchdown pass and has been getting some time already. So Elzy was their star wide receiver. Andre Cruz, their star running back. Cruz will play at the D1 level next year. He's at prep school this year. But the Dolphins right now on top, 7-0, 11:30 left. Hood at quarterback, empty backfield, 3 receivers to the top, 2 to the bottom. Clayton in motion. Hood keeping it himself, picking his way. Hood across the 50-yard line with a nice first down gain. 6 yards for the senior Anthony Hood. So Jolich checking in, Clayton checking out.
A lot of conversation on that Simeon line. Let's see what Coach Eddie Boucher dials up this time.
Yep, so Coach Boucher, offensive coordinator, definitely a solid feel in the run game. Hood doing a nice job of reading things, reading those DNs. Harrison Gassa in motion. Hood keeping it himself, and he's met immediately. Mike Schenbieler and number 36, Charles Smith. I think Smith was through there first. Bieler on the cleanup duty. So Hood stopped for minimal gain. I give him 1. So 3rd down. Ball in Wolverines territory. Need to get to the 45 for the first down. 10 minutes and 15 seconds left here in the game. Dolphins ahead 7-0. Hood, quarterback. Clayton to his left, 3 receivers to his right. Hood giving it to Clayton. Clayton looking for the corner, putting his head down, and still on his feet.
Still on his feet.
Gets the first down at the 45. So that was Parker that met him initially. And Clayton pinballed off of him and picks up the first down. Heck of a run. Man, you talking about pads popping?
Stayed on his feet.
Somehow stayed on his feet. It's that low center of gravity.
And gave the first down signal from the sideline. That's a tough kid.
That's a tough kid.
Goodness gracious.
Senior
his mother must be a beast.
Scott Clayton getting the laugh from the crowd here. Hood, Jolich next to him. Jolich met and dropped immediately. That was Mike Schenbieler. Bieler shooting through there from his edge rusher position. So 2nd and 13. It looks like Max Warner might be checking in. I think they're giving Clayton one more play off to
Gather his senses.
Gather his senses.
Shake those marbles clean.
They're all fine in there. DeMille, the receiver to the right. Rankin, Gassa, Gray to the left. Maxwell Warner next to Hood. Hood checking in with him, telling him what's up, saying, just block for me, man. Oh, Hood, yeah, I thought it was a face mask as well. That was Burgess on the tackle. I think he just got him up high and spun him down. So 3rd and 11. Again, with Hood at QB, he has attempted 2 passes on the day. The big one, the 4th down conversion to Jolich that kept that touchdown drive alive. 8:16 left here in the game. Going to be 3rd and long. Dolphins need to get it to the Wolverine 35-yard line. So 3 receivers collecting them. So 2 to the top, 2 to the bottom. Hood back to pass. Hood rifles it off the hands of Joseph Gray.
And the umpire
Yep.
acted as a 12th man.
Yep, so got in the way of that pass. Hood, a nice-looking ball just off the hands of Joseph Gray. And so it'll bring up 4th and long, and the Dolphins are going to kick it away. Keyshawn Parker back deep. Bradley, the snap, drops it again, but goes to Parker. Parker fields it at the 15. Gray on the pursuit. Gray, great job. And then they should get a flag on that too. But anyway, it didn't matter. Gray just he was like in the.
We did get a flag.
All right, and that should have been. So Gray was like he was like the clown in the bull ring, right? He was staring down Keyshawn Parker. Did a great job of icing him, and then when Parker came out and the rest of the Dolphins were coming back into the play, Gray got hammered from the backside. So I think that should be a illegal hit in the back. Hopefully, who knows?
They're waving it off.
My goodness, and they're picking it up. They are picking it up. Well, let's just say, Coach Finger told me early in the year, when we play in the Chicago Public League, we will not get a call. And that has been the case tonight.
Do you think he was insinuating that the officials couldn't get into a selective enrollment school?
I'm not going to say. He didn't say. He just said the statement. And maybe I should not attribute it to Coach Finger. Let me just say, I talked to somebody on the coaching staff whose name rhymes with Ringer.
Ringer.
But no. I mean, if you're with the Chicago Public League, it was not Coach Finger who said that. But we don't get any calls, and that's just if you're Dolphin fans and you've been with us for the last couple of years, it's not just us complaining up here. It is us complaining, but we're just telling the story that we see in front of us. And there have been a couple bad calls here. But regardless, Dolphins on top, 7-0, 7:41 left. We got Marquee Network away on their commercial break. This seems to be a little bit longer. They probably got to squeeze a few more ad dollars in before the end of the game.
Yeah, the Ricketts, they really need every nickel.
Oh man, we're really gonna get in trouble on this. Buster Cepeda in on the D line. So, and then Marcus Woods was back out there in offense, but Cepeda checking in on D. Nick Dale playing a whale of a job, whale of a game on the nose. Babanefasimi Opadelli. Barry Gordon, Jason Perez, outside linebackers. Duhan, Hood, safeties. Rankin, Warner, the uber star sophomores at the corners. And then Jolich and Clayton, your linebackers. Sims, the quarterback. Smith next to him. Hand off to Smith. Smith with some room to run. Barry Gordon, BG3, and Quinn Duhan bring him down short of the first down marker. But nice blocking on the left-hand side of that Simeon line.
Simeon trying to run a little bit of a tempo game here, but maybe not. 7:14 left here in the fourth quarter. Brooks, the receiver, to the top side. Harris to the bottom. Smith in the backfield with Sims. That's a handoff to Smith. Smith is going to get the first down, and then Duhan, actually that was number 57, Cameron Caldwell. So they checked in Caldwell. Maybe it was Caldwell earlier. I thought it was Mike Schenbeeler that they had checked in at that running back position. So, but that's Caldwell wearing number 57. Checked in for Sims on that. So now Simeon going to a tempo offense. First down at the 36. Handoff again to Caldwell. Met and dropped by Joseph Clayton. Clayton said, I don't care how big you are, Cameron Caldwell. I'm going to take care of business.
He really does not.
Well, again, I mean, if you're Clayton at 6'2", 240 pounds out of that linebacker position.
Clock rolling, 6:20.
So Clayton, again, 5'7", 165, just playing like a warrior. Simeon, a lot of conversations on their guys there, checking it out. Sims playing a bunch formation to the left. Sims back to pass, looking. Ball tipped, I think. Maybe tipped at the line of scrimmage, or it was just a little early in the duck hunting season. So incomplete pass, third down and 9 to go. Ball at the 36-yard line. Clayton, Yolich, linebackers in the middle. Looks like Sims, Caldwell to his right. They're going to do that bunch formation again to the left. 3 receivers left, 1 receiver to the top side. Sims looking, Sims going deep and caught, and Rankin hanging on and forced the fumble.
And he recovered
Rankin
it.
forced the fumble on the wide receiver after the reception, and Rankin recovers it.
Wow. Nazir Rankin coming through again. How did he pull that off?
The catch was made on the right sideline. Sims, I think that was Brooks down there on the catch, and Rankin hung with it and stripped the ball free.
And recovered it.
Because he's Nasir Rankin, and that's what he does.
That's the only reasonable explanation.
So Dolphins take over, the second turnover of the day. Hood, empty set for him. 3 receivers to his right, 2 to his left. Usually a motion man comes. Clayton comes. Hood keeping it himself. Got some blockers.
Just keep that clock rolling.
Yep, picks up a couple. Picks up a couple up to, I think, about the 25-yard line. So pick up a 2. Clock moving at 5:33 left here. Simeon and Whitney Young both with their full set of timeouts here in the second half. Yolich checking in. Do think that the Whitney Young is not going to be sprinting up to the line. They might sprint up to the line. They might just take a little bit of time in the offensive backfield. But definitely would like to put together a drive here. Hood, Yolich next to him, Rankin, Hood to Yolich. Yolich still on his feet.
Broke the tackle.
Yolich across the 30-yard line. Harrison Gassa getting in a pancake block downfield. But Yolich did a really nice job. He was met in the backfield, kept his feet going, and got out close to the first down. So it's going to be 3rd and 1. Ball at the 32. I think they got to get across the 33-yard line. So you've seen a nice job by these Whitney Young Dolphin running backs and Hood tonight, finding holes, keeping legs going, keeping feet moving. That offensive line drive blocking. So big 3rd down here. 3rd down. Hood keeping it himself. Hood with a
Clayton
first
blocked.
down, out to the outside, hanging out of that ball. Hood to the 50, to the 40, to the 30. Pushed out of bounds across the 25-yard line. Wow. Big time play, big time player.
Dolphins running tempo, and there's a Wolverine player in the backfield.
I'm not sure why they would hold. Why are we holding it up? Well, it took the officials a while to spot the ball. I guess you got to move the chain, so that's fine. They're going to mark it at the 25-yard line. So Hood, big first down conversion. He's got 4 receivers to his left now. Rankin in motion. Rankin. Hood looking deep. He's got Harrison Gossa wide open for a touchdown. Holy cow.
And they threw a flag.
Oh, I guess there's going to be a celebration on Gossa, but that was a trick play. So we'll see. We'll see. We'll for sure get the touchdown call here get the call from the officials. They're going to call over the Simeon coach for a question. So I don't know what happened there. It was a trick play. They ran Rankin motion into the backfield, and everybody with their eyes to the left. Gossa was the only receiver to the right. Hood hit him with what looks like a touchdown pass, but we'll see how this goes. I'm going to hold my... All right, so it is a touchdown. Gossa gets the touchdown. Unsportsmanlike conduct on the celebration after it. So I think what they were talking to Simeon was where they wanted to assess the penalty, which is noteworthy because they're going to assess it on the kickoff. So the important news there was the touchdown
is good.
Touchdown pass. Again, there were a bunch of trick plays that are in the hip pocket. I see Eddie Boucher, a little smile down there on the side. So we hadn't seen that look all year, right? It was four guys out. Rankin came in motion, ran a motion behind Hood. Everybody on the entire field looked over there.
A lot of eye candy.
So 4-star long snapper Barrett to Conrad to Bradley for the kick, which is good.
Dolphins 14, Wolverines 0.
3:55 left here in the game. Dolphins keep putting together these drives. Again, Hood with the big time third down pickup on that run, and then a little bit of trickeration.
But let's go back to Nazir Rankin.
Yes.
That was one of the best plays I've seen. Catch, football move, strip, recovery. You can't script it any better than that.
Nope, not at all. And I mean, he had good coverage. It was a great pass by Sims. I mean, Sims has been spinning it out of that quarterback position and made the completion. I think it was Brooks on the completion. I wasn't sure. I think he was on that top side one-on-one against Rankin. And, yeah, absolutely. That was a huge play. So Rankin's second forced fumble, turnover. Sorry, putting things together here, everybody. So you had the interception and then the forced fumble. So Simeon has been able to cook up some yardage, but the Dolphins have been able to take care of business. So it is a 15-yard penalty on the celebration penalty. So brings the ball back to the 25-yard line. So
I give Harrison credit before the game. He gets the touchdown and then the 15-yard celebration penalty.
So Harrison and Gossa done a nice job all year. One of those guys just taking care of business, had the play dialed up for him. Hood hit him. So Solomon Bradley kicking off from his 25. Kicks it deep. Awesome kick all the way back to the 19-yard line. Jolich with a beat Nice job. Still on his feet. You got to bring him down, everybody. Gray finally wrestles him down, and Jolich gets back in on that action. I think you also had Devander Shoemaker again. So good job. Great job, special teams, to corral the return. So Dolphins
think this,
with a 14-0 lead. 3:45 left here in the city semifinal game.
I think this Dolphins defense has a bit of a bounce in their step right now.
I would think they got a little bit of a Baba Nefasimi bounce.
That's a lot of bounce.
That is a lot of bounce. So, again, Marquise Woods back in on that D-line. Nick Dale, Baba Nefasimi Opadelli. Jason Perez, BG3, Barry Gordon III at the outside linebackers. Clayton Jolich up the middle. Looks like they've, so it's still the same setup. So Hood, Rankin, Duhan, Maxwell Warner, Sims back to pass. He's got time. Good job, Baba Nefasimi. And a reception out to the 40-yard line. So, again, Dolphins, Perez on the coverage. Pass completed to McGruder, number 84. Clock running 3. Actually, clock not running because they're moving the chains right now.
Now he winds
Now
it.
they're moving it. 3:30 left here. So Simeon in Dolphins territory. And ball is snapped, but play is blown dead. We'll have to see what we've got going on here.
Official timeout.
There's a hush falls over the crowd. I think the ball was maybe not spotted correctly. I don't know. Their referee crew is checking in with each other. We'll probably get a long-winded response. All right, not a long-winded response, but the ball will be blown in play. 3:25 left. Smith back in at running back next to him. Sims back to pass. He's got a lot of time. Rolling to his left. He's got a receiver. And Jason Perez tackles him for minimal gain. So that was Brooks. Brooks, the wide receiver who has been scorching it today. Jason Perez from his outside linebacker position.
It looked like he gave up about 5 yards on that.
Yep, so only a gain of 3. Excellent job by Perez. Dolphins just rushing 3, I think, right now. Rushing 3. Sims with some time, almost by Baba Nefasimi Opadelli. BG3 on the trail.
And keeps him in bounds.
Great job. BG3 reached out, brings down Sims just at a first down. So it was a first down, so the clock stops with 2:36 left here in the game. Nice job, BG3. So Simeon does have all 3 of their timeouts. I would imagine they're going to start using those at some point here. Sims, quarterback, Smith with him. Sims, big time sacked! Harrison Gassa. And he was held on the play as well. So we'll see. We'll just make sure that they're not going to give Harrison some sort of celebration penalty. Holding, yes, it was. So he got held. Harrison got through there for the sack. I think Baba Nefasimi had some nice pressure, too. I think maybe
decline it, maybe?
BG3, I think, was also coming in. No, I think at this point, well, I don't know. What's the?
He's declining it. He's declining it.
Okay, so decline because you had the sack, so you had a loss of yardage there. You want to lose a down with 2:25 left here in the game. Again, 14-0. Dolphins on top of Simeon.
And they should wind the clock.
Yep, they will. That's also, I think, another. So that's a. Yep. Yeah, I think Mark Duhan's right here. I'm not sure about that spot. So they spotted the ball at the 32 after that sack deep in the backfield. So Sims, as the quarterback, he's got 2 receivers left and right. Smith in the backfield with him. He's got some time. He's looking downfield. Now he's across. He might be across the line of scrimmage. Harrison Gassa coming after him, and the ball is out of bounds. Incomplete Great coverage over on the side again. Jason Perez in coverage over on the left-hand side. So Sims staying alive, but Harrison Gossa. Somebody yelled, "I see you, Harrison."
I see him. I see him too. I see him too.
Got a touchdown pass and a big-time sack. The senior, Harrison Gossa. And, again, it's sort of weird. This game is like the flow right now is a little bit strange. So Simeon on the ball, 2:09. Clock is stopped after that incomplete pass. Third down. They need to get across the 20. They need to get to the 19-yard line. Simeon does for a first down. So low snap. Sims stepping up in the pocket. Sims rifling deep. He's got a man open, but Hood was there on the coverage. That was Magruder down there, or actually Damian Harris. So Hood on the backside coverage. Ball is incomplete, and it brings up a fourth down for the Simeon Wolverines. 2:02 left here in the fourth quarter. Whitney Young up 14-0. Again, winner of this game plays Kenwood next week for the city championship. Simeon was the city champions last year. Whitney Young never has advanced this far in the city playoffs. Two receivers, top and bottom. Sims back to pass. Babanefasimi Opedeli pressuring. Hood's got to turn his head, and let's see, no laundry out. Hood on the coverage. Hood with a sword celebration on the fourth down, and that ball is going to go back over to the Whitney Young Dolphins.
1 minute, 52 seconds left in this game.
14-0 lead for the Dolphins. Again, the Dolphin defense on fourth down comes up in their own territory. My goodness, 4, 5, 6 times tonight. I don't know, it seems like 70 times tonight. At least that's the way my heart feels.
And they're pitching the shutout.
Pitching the shutout right now. Dolphin defense, we knew it was going to be a defensive battle tonight. The Dolphins and the Wolverines have played a whale of a game. Hood, quarterback, Clayton next to him. I think as the clock gets blown in, I think Simeon takes their first timeout with 1:52 left here.
It's an odd timeout.
Yeah, I don't know if at what point does the clock didn't wind, so I'm not quite sure why they took it, but they did. So they've got 2 timeouts remaining. This is it's great. I mean, you hear the fans in front of us. Hopefully you've seen some shots. I mean, the Dolphin fans came out in droves. I mean, Simeon, not nearly as I'm not going to get into any sort of discussion here, but my point is that this game at Lane Stadium tonight is electric, right? Electric here for the city semifinals. Whitney Young Dolphins on top. Your touchdowns tonight, a big-time run by Nasir Rankin where everybody on the entire team threw a block. And then on a trick play, a Hood to Harrison Gossa. Hood is 2 for 3 passing tonight. First one was on a fourth down conversion screen pass to Jolich that resulted in a first down with Rankin scoring, I think, on the next play. And then Hood, that misdirection, everybody in the whole place looking off on the left-hand side. Harrison Gossa alone on the right-hand side for the touchdown catch. 1:52 remaining. Hood has got Clayton behind him. 3 receivers bunched to his right. Box stacked by Simeon. Handoff to Clayton. Clayton just making sure he's staying in bounds and hanging on the ball. How many arms can you possibly get on that ball? 5 points, 10, 20 points of contact?
But they'll never get it away from him. His grip strength is a little disturbing.
So clock is running right now. Simeon is not taking a timeout for some reason. They're not taking a timeout. Clock is running, 1:23 left. And Clayton is coming out. Maxwell Warner is coming in. I'm not sure. Did they just wave the white flag?
It looks
Could
like
be.
it.
Could be at down 14 to nothing.
Let's give it to the Whitney Young student body. They came out and supported this team tonight.
Yep, student body, parent body, anybody.
The parents always support. The
We
Whitney
all
Young
here.
football parents are the best boosters in the city of Chicago.
So Dolphins end up taking a delay of game on that, which I don't actually love because so the clock doesn't start until the snap, so might have wanted to get that off a little bit earlier. So the Dolphins backs them up 5 yards to the 15-yard line. But at this point, Simeon with 2 timeouts left, 1:02 left. Whitney Young on top, 14-0. Hood again. I mean, Hood put together a monster game. Hood, Clayton, Rankin all almost over 100 yards rushing in last week's game against Taft. So now the Dolphins spread it out. Hood at quarterback. Hood going to keep it. Hood with some blockers in front of him. Hood still on his feet across the 30-yard line, and then a scrum ensues. Hood doesn't want to go down.
Good.
He's like, hey, you can't take me down.
Gotta love this
You
kid.
can't touch me. Some flags downfield. So Rico Antonio D'Alessandro Gassa, Coach Finger saying, get off the field. He had enough of that riffraff. I think it's going to probably back up the Dolphins 15 yards. Coach Finger not happy at all about that. So Hood with a nice run on second down. Again, the thing about the penalty is that it'll stop the clock. So we'll see. It's a dead ball. Okay, so personal foul. So it was both ways. The shenanigans were on both sides of the ball, so it offsets. So I think they just ended the game. I think they just concluded the game. I think the decision was that they didn't want any further shenanigans. So your Whitney Young Dolphins are victorious 14-0 city semifinal match. Thank you. All right.
And they advance to the City Public League championship game.
Amazing job. Coach Finger, Coach Boucher, Coach O'Donnell, doggone it, we've been talking about this defense all night. It's led by Coach Connor O'Donnell, first-year defensive coordinator. Shout out to you, Malik Leonard. You put the foundation in place.
Coach Malik. Gotta love it.
So,
Alexander
Dale. You got Hood, Clayton leading the line across. Simeon, again, defending city champions. They had a heck of a year. Lost a couple of their stars in the offseason. Whitney Young Dolphins, if you recall, were 2-7 last year, and they have flipped the script this year, led by the senior class, but contributed heavily by the juniors and sophomores. Super soft, Nasir Rankin tonight. But you can't say enough about Hood. You can't say enough about Clayton, Yolich, that defense and offensive line. And so Whitney Young advancing to the city championships. Good display of sportsmanship here. Sure that you were talking about the pads popping. I mean, this was a heck of a game tonight. Jason Perez, reason to celebrate down there. Baba never see me over there. I thought maybe we would. Oh, they got Alexander Dale. I thought Baba was going to hit us with a backflip or something. Those guys deserve to celebrate. A heck of a game up and down that roster. What they do in practice all the time, what Coach Finger does. Coach Boucher, Coach O'Donnell, Coach Weidman, Coach Dale, as we call him, Coach Dale. Quinn Duhan getting in the celebration with Alexander Dale. Man, up and down this lineup today. What a bunch of production. They are having a good time down in the end zone. I might just stay on air for a little while longer.
What do we have going on here with Obadele, Clayton?
They are happy This is a team win.
I don't know what that celebration was.
It doesn't matter. It's good, whatever it is. So now there's some dancing going on. I don't know what. There's some other thing going on. So I don't know. If I just went up and down this lineup today, Rankin, Yolich, Hood, Duhan, Gordon, Gossa, right? I mean, Harrison Gossa with the touchdown catch and then the sack. Maxwell Warner, what we saw from him, defensive coverage. Clayton all day. Solomon Bradley with 2 extra points and a deep kickoff, right? I mean, Bradley's kickoff kind of sealed the deal.
All
Joseph
phases.
Gray all over the place today. Jason Perez called out his name not only in pursuing on a run and quarterback, but he was in coverage on that entire last possession and did a whale of a job over there. My goodness, Jason Perez, Bob Nefesimio Padele, Marcus Woods with a big tackle for loss, Juan Cepeda in there, Nicholas Dale also, Nick Dale with a big tackle for loss. That's like, woo!
Great game. Great game.
So thank you, everyone. Thank you to Principal Ricky Harris, Athletic Director Chris Cassidy, Head Coach Daniel Finger. Whale of a game. Scott Clayton, thank you.
Barry, always a pleasure.
Brian Barrett on stats tonight. We'll be on ESPN next week, so we'll work out a deal. We will be back on the air next week. We'll, I don't know, I'm sure they have that game time announced, but it's against the Kenwood Broncos. Kenwood, a heck of a team, but we'll worry about Kenwood next week. I think tonight, maybe a little bit of a very safe, responsible celebration, except for you, Mark Duhan. You have no responsibility, man. Rip it up tonight. Thanks to everybody out there. Dolphin victory, heading to City Championship next week. Thanks, everybody, for joining us tonight. Have yourself a great weekend.
Go Dolphins.
Go Dolphins.